and get pre-approved today for your next home purchase or a refinance at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis. The Cubs host the Dodgers in a Saturday matinee. The coverage begins at 12:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Oh, the chicken! Double time!
Miles Turner. Yeah.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, happy Mother's Day weekend upcoming. The Kentucky Derby is coming up tomorrow, so the best of luck to you, those of you that are deciding to, as once was said on a great Andy Griffith Show episode, where there was a bookie. Remember the bookie organization that was taking over Floyd's barbershop? Barney dressed up like an old woman and went in there and wanted to place a bet on the horsey's nose. Yes, enjoy that coming up tomorrow. A little conversation later on regarding that, too. And busy weekend overall. We were just looking up. Kyle and I were downstairs, and Kyle was looking up for this weekend with the Reds and the Pirates over in Cincinnati. That's a humdinger right there. For this weekend, you can get in the Lexus Diamond seats. Right? The Lexus Diamond seats for $100 and what? $145. Those are the seats behind home plate. You can get in Great American Ballpark for $2. You can get incredible seats for $20. So, what? Oh, you can't for $20? Oh, okay. $20. Oh, you're saying you can't go today? Oh, yeah, we got to find somebody else then. That is incredible right there. Like I said, just go over there, have yourself a big boy, maybe a La Rosa's pizza slice. You and the entire family can go really cheap. So I guess that there is a bright side to all of this incredible amount of losing that will be never ending. Yeah, I saw where Ken Rosenthal of Fox a little bit earlier today. I tweeted this out because this has to go to a station over there, whether it's LW or do they still have the Frog station over there where they have like a morning zoo show or something? I don't know. My landscape and understanding of Cincinnati radio over there is not as good as it once was. And they have something called the Frog. You got to come up with a song regarding the quote from Nick Kroll, their general manager, earlier today. That's going to be on somebody's radio station to come up with something really good. Yeah, the quote was, if somebody wants to blame somebody, they should blame me. Well, you're in the mix there. Ownership's going to get the blame, but it sounded like the old school B.J. Thomas song, R.I.P. no longer with us, Sky Point. The somebody done somebody wrong song. So, yeah, somebody over there's got to work on that stat. Get something really good out of it. Yeah, we were talking yesterday regarding the NBA and the Pacers. I know it's kind of tough because you don't have a rooting interest in an NBA team right now. But we are getting closer and closer to the NBA draft lottery, and we were discussing this yesterday. A lot of you, it's funny, I think a lot of you do agree with me regarding Keegan Murray outside the top three. So, for example, if it's not Banchero, Smith, or Ivy, and you got to go a different direction, my direction will be Keegan Murray. I think you understand where I'm coming from on that, too. The smooth, the maturity. what looks to be like an immediate fit, and I have no idea what they're thinking about over there. I may, one of these days, ask our good friend that listens to the show daily, Ryan Carr. He's likely not to tell me anything, and I understand that, but I'm just kind of curious. I like his game. I like his maturity, his shooting ability, which there is no doubt that team needs. So outside of the top three, and I think those top three, you got to go with one of them if you're in there. But, yeah, if you're number 5 as you are right now, sure. Now, to me, it's Keegan Murray. But a lot of you believe that Keegan Murray, that are kind of anti that particular opinion, is going to go later on. So why would you do that at number 5? Or even number 4, for that matter? So a lot of you also think that I'm pretty anti-Chet. I'm not anti-Chet. I like Chet a great deal. I just don't think this organization can take a swing at Chet and wait for Chet to evolve. And maybe I'm wrong. I look at the fans, and just by what I witnessed when this team that won 25 wins this past year, just what I witnessed, it was like they were horrible, but you think that this thing is going to turn around really quick. And I guess I don't see that. I think that you have to help the situation so it's not longer. I don't know how long the fans around here are going to play around with the idea. And I guess that goes to show you that, some fans are on board, some fans are off board, or I should say off the ship right now, as far as Kevin Pritchard is concerned. Like last year, you win 25 games, and it's horrible, but you're getting to watch new guys, and you thought that maybe there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but that tunnel's not going to be very long. I'm skeptical about that, and I certainly don't think that you can wait as long as, to me, you would have to wait to see that come true. I do like him, and I hope this dude transforms into a fantastic NBA player, and I hope all of you say, see how crazy you were bringing this up and not going with it? I hope you do, because I like him, having watched basically not all, but most of his games of his freshman year. I just think this thing would take a little bit too long. And a lot of lack of believability. There's Kevin Lee in studio. What are you up to?
Mini marathon packet.
No, wait a minute. Come here. Let me talk to you really quick.
New chairs.
How about that? And they're the color of the station, too. Kevin Lee, who's on NBC, who's just a hell of a lot better than all of us right here, as you well know, has a racing... Well, you're on NBC.
How long have we had new
chairs?
chairs?
You're on NBC, or like... When I think of being on NBC, it's like Cheers or Family Ties or Seinfeld or Friends. That's
I'm
the
more
level that you
excited
are.
about seeing new chairs in the studio.
You
I
like
may have to return.
Well, we're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh,
so
we're not?
Yeah, we're not.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think right. Yeah, I want to make sure that we abide. I want to make sure that we abide.
So blame me.
Yeah, you.
I didn't get the memo.
Well, hell, I would throw you under the bus. There's no doubt about that. Kevin Lee is in studio. Of course, we got the greatest spectacle in racing coming up later on this month. You got the Grand Prix coming up in a couple of weeks. His son is a driver as well, an up-and-coming driver with a great deal of skill set going, and he's from NBC just like Jerry Seinfeld. Kevin Lee's in studio.
And Mr. Peterman should be here again for the 500 with Stephen Wilson's announcement.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I know he was at the race last year. John O'Hurley.
John O'Hurley,
show, right?
John O'Hurley's been on a couple of different times.
That was what I used. I tried to pitch him for our pre-race show last year because he would be there. His wife has the company that is the primary sponsor for Stephen Wilson, Lola Sports. So that was the connection, and that's why he was at the race last year. And I've heard him with you before.
He needs to offer up everybody on the team like a bunch of urban sombreros or something like that.
Exactly.
That would be great.
I just think he's cool. I like listening to him talk.
His voice is cool, and you know what? He is more, and you don't often get it, but I always find it interesting. Sometimes the actors don't in real life, but he is more Jay Peterman than he is John O'Hurley.
Is he really, or he just plays the part because he knows that's what we all want?
Everybody, I think, would look at Jay Peterman more than John. Yeah, they would get Jay Peterman before John O'Hurley. And
Correct.
some guys don't like that.
And he has embraced it because it has made him a lot of money, and good for him for recognizing that.
No doubt about that. So you're down here getting you're running in the Mini?
It's game time decision, but I believe I signed up 3 years ago. And
so
it depends on how cold it is and how hard it's raining, because I haven't particularly trained.
At all?
And it's a lot. I ran...
You run in the hotel rooms, right?
I ran...
Or the hotel workout facilities.
I ran a half marathon when I was in LA a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And then I realized that it's a lot easier to run in Malibu on the beach than it is in Plainfield.
Yeah.
It didn't quite have the same pace.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, log in time and mileage up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
we do have nice parks in Hendricks County, so I run a little bit. I run like 3 miles, 4 miles, something like that. 13.
Are you more Plainfield now than Avon?
We're like right on the border.
Well,
I'm still in Avon.
Why don't you just sprint down US 36?
I go to Hummel Park.
You could probably get to where you're going quicker if you were running as opposed to being in a car.
Definitely.
Right, on US 36.
Yes, definitely. No. I don't leave the house very often at all anymore.
Kevin and Kevin, of course, that's called Trackside, coming up later on tonight at 7 o'clock. It is a staple in the month of May, actually weekly show throughout most of the year, but a staple in the month of May here. Kevin Lee is in studio with us. Big stories going in before the Grand Prix next week and then going into the 500?
I think the big story has been satisfied. I mentioned Stephen Wilson, is the fact that there are now 33 entries, and it's probably a bit confusing to casual fans. Why has it been a challenge to find a 33rd? Are things going that poorly? They're not, and we won't get into all of that, but it's mostly, some of it's just COVID-related production shortage issues, manpower, women power issues. Teams didn't really want to roll out an extra car this year. There's been budget for a few programs available, but just getting them all to mix together was a bit of a challenge. And then once you got to 33, no one wants to add more cars because it's potentially going to bump one of their own, or Honda or Chevy are going to bump one of their own. And it's just a big risk to put a financial program together when you might not make the race. We all miss bumping, but the reality is that a very high percentage of the national audience that's watching NBC on the 29th isn't really paying attention to that. And the race will be fantastic. We've got as many drivers that can win the race as we ever had, and it should be a really good show.
I think a lot of it is, too. We look back on, especially me, fondly on most things compared to what we're doing right now. And that's not just racing, but that's just across the board.
Yeah, it was always better back in the day.
It was always better back then.
There are some things that are better now. The fact that back in the day when, quote, things were so great, well, you'd have maybe just one car on the lead lap at the end of the race. Certainly never more than 2 or 3. And now, the race is never decided until you get to the final lap.
Jimmy Johnson going to be somebody worthy of talking about past the fact that he's a NASCAR legend?
Yes, for the Indy 500. In reality, for the road and street courses, he's got a long way to go, as we all expected, because he's playing catch-up for all of these drivers that have done nothing but go-kart racing, formula car racing, and road and street racing, and he's been driving a heavy stock car. He was good on road courses in those heavy stock cars, but this is entirely different. Plus, he's older already than anybody else, with the exception of guys like Castro Neves and Juan Pablo Montoya, but he knows how to drive on an oval, and he proved that at Texas Motor Speedway when he ran up front. Is he going to win the race? I think it's going to be tough if he's going in a head-to-head fight at the end, like Helio Castroneves was last year with Alex Palou.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons Helio won, but he can easily be a top 5 type guy in this race.
So Kevin Lee from NBC is in studio with us, picking up his mini marathon package, where tomorrow he may or may not run. We'll find out from him, I'm assuming.
There may be a stop and a walk at some point.
Well, I would. Running is a form of punishment for me, so I'm never doing that. And plus, the whole idea of the severe nipple chafing that goes on is not something. So especially tomorrow, it's going to be cold
and wet. You got to have the right shirt.
I mean, you don't want to wear a mesh shirt.
I like that Mariners shirt, too.
You like that? That's old school. That's an honor. Back in the day when our leader upstairs on 7 used to own them.
I remember when Jeff played softball with us, and forgot his glove one day, and he pulls out a Ken Griffey Jr. autographed glove that was given to his kid, and he played softball with it. So that's good. It's good.
No, this is one of the classic, and if you're watching on YouTube Live or Facebook Live right now, you can see this is a classic late 80s, mid to late 80s Mariners uniform. This is like the Glenn Abbott or the Lynn Randall collection right here. Lenny Randall.
Yeah.
Or
I've
the
got a
Richie
Seattle
Zisk.
Pilots shirt.
Yeah.
I've got a Seattle Pilots shirt from
I like this
1969.
because, and again, if you guys are watching right now, you can check it out. That is one of the greatest logos of all time right there. What is that called? A try something?
I don't know.
I forget. There's something. You know what this is called? So around here, because I'm a hillbilly, I call it a pitchfork, but it's not.
Yeah.
Something something. Trident. It's a trident.
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you probably called it a pitchfork, too, just like me.
I don't think
living
I
out
called
there
it
in
anything,
Plainfield.
But it was the Mariners logo. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much. I dig that a great deal. Hey, I do want to ask you this about Jimmy Johnson. I was thinking about it as you were explaining what you think he could do. If he were able to win this, how would you ever? I know you guys are thinking ahead of all these possible stories. That's what you have to do in preparation for the race and all that goes into it. But have you ever had a chance to just sit down and think about if he were to win this race, knowing what he's already accomplished in another discipline of auto racing, where we might rank him? I know he's incredibly high all time right now, there's no doubt NASCAR wise, but just in general of drivers, where would we end up putting him?
Well, he's already up there as far as drivers, but there are very few that have conquered multiple disciplines. You know, that list is very short, and in the last 30 years, you know, it's the Tony Stewarts of the world. You know, I think already Kurt Busch is thought of a little bit differently because he came to Indy and he ran up near the front along with what he did in NASCAR. But he didn't win 7 Cup championships like Jimmy Johnson did. So, you know, is he going to be rated higher than Mario or AJ? No, probably not. But I think it would extend that legacy even a bit more. And maybe people, I think some downplay his accomplishments in NASCAR, even though he's won as many Cup championships as anyone. Only Richard Petty has won that many, and Dale Earnhardt. But I don't know that it puts him higher than those guys, but it does change the conversation a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I was just curious about that because that would be...
You know, he may still win Le Mans as well because that's... I expect him to run Le Mans next year. And then that will be one of the questions where whether he continues full-time in IndyCar, whether he can make that work, because I think the next priority is he wants to run Le Mans, and then maybe he runs some more of those races that are involved in that series, which is called the World Endurance Championship.
Le Mans?
Le Mans.
It's not Le Mans.
Can be, especially if you're from Plainfield.
What do you guys got on the track side tonight, buddy?
Stephen Wilson, who we mentioned.
Yes.
We're going to talk with Stephen. Mostly it's, you know, these hour shows go pretty quick, so it's just kind of I sit down and whatever comes to mind.
Clearly you guys haven't been in here with the new decor and how everything looks in our studio here.
So I guess it's been a while. Alexander Rossi came in the studio, and I bet that was back in November or December, and that's the only time I've been in since the pandemic.
Really?
Well, I remember last time.
This technology at home is pretty good, and that commute works out quite nicely for me.
I like it for the TV thing, because I don't go to 59 anymore. I just do it from my living room and take it every Sunday night.
Exactly.
But this, I gotta come in for this.
I
got to come in.
It does
I do want to come in. I did it one time, though, the snowstorm back in early February. I did it from my house, and while it worked great, I thought it sucked. I want to either be here or out with people.
Well, and you're interacting with others, and you're doing reads during commercial breaks. It's just a longer show, and you do run the risk of something going wrong, and an afternoon drive that doesn't go over very well. At 8:15 at night, it's not as big of a deal.
It was when I signed off at 6. I was done. You know, I was already in my underwear and everything. I was good to go right there, so I didn't have to drive home. That was the one difference.
It's made my commute quite nice. Yeah. I'll eventually start coming back downtown on occasion, but it's pretty convenient.
I think last time we saw you down here, you were complaining about the traffic. There was some sort of concert.
And I was complaining again on my drive in today. I couldn't get in the building.
Oh yeah, with the construction out there.
That's the number one reason why I don't come downtown unless
You
got to
get in the far right lane, the one where it has to merge, because nobody gets in it because they know that you can only go basically with.
Luckily,
with
I was
the one lane. Go in the right because you're turning right anyway.
Yeah,
so
but,
you should have
still had to sit for a long time.
A little bit of a clear path.
I'm quite concerned about leaving here in an hour or so.
Oh yeah, well you got to kind of bully your way out of there a little bit. Here's what I do.
No, I mean in general, getting out of town, and as you know, Avon is awful too.
Oh yeah, I roll right out of the parking garage and go right across Illinois into that alley that goes underneath the hotel, the embassy over here, and I go right underneath that. I think it's actually a street, but it's an alley. I go underneath that and then hang a left on Capitol. I thought it was one way
coming this way.
Well,
because I used to use that as a shortcut coming this way.
I make it a two-way, baby.
Really?
I turn it into a two-way.
Okay, so you're just hoping that no one's coming the other way.
I'm just hoping. Well, I look down the alley, and if there's a car that's blocking or a truck or a delivery van, then I won't go that way.
I know the alley you're thinking of. Okay.
If it is clear, I'm going down that way.
Okay.
So just think about it when you leave.
All right.
Trackside later on tonight, Stephen Wilson, number 33, coming up.
The driver of the 33rd car entered. Number 25 in your program. I know what you're saying.
Not literally number 33.
Ed Carpenter's 33 now.
Ed Carpenter, we haven't talked to him in a while. I think he stopped listening to us.
I can't believe that.
Ed Carpenter.
Ed's still doing a lot of shuffling kids, so I think he still listens.
You know, I've picked that son of a gun to win that race for like 5 consecutive years.
I've picked him before, too, and I think we should stop picking him. I'm going to stop picking Scott Dixon, who I picked multiple times and has had the best car and doesn't win. But Ed will be strong like he always is.
Come on, Ed. Why don't you win? So you think
don't
that
pick him.
If we both stopped, he would win?
Correct.
I asked him that a couple of years ago, and he goes, "No, just go ahead and pick me." And I think
which is the right approach. Yeah. You don't want to start getting into
just go ahead and act like that I'm the reason why
you're
don't
back
win.
Out on Carb Day this year.
Oh yeah,
that'll be good.
That's going to be out in Pagoda Plaza.
Okay,
and I'm going to have a little live feed. I guess I'm going to talk to people getting ready to go on stage during the Carb Day party. So
500 is going to be cool this year. It's going to be the second biggest crowd that we've seen in the last 30 years, other than the 100. 500. But it is. I've been trying to come up with sweet tickets for Jackson sponsors who are willing to pay. I'm not asking for freebies, and you can't find them right now. So if anybody
will they stop selling them like they did the year of the 100th?
I don't know that we're going to get to that. It will be close, and that's what obviously it would take for the blackout to be lifted. But I suspect there are still going to be some scattered tickets available, but the good seats are probably gone. I know there are still, last I heard, some still available on the north end between turns 3 and 4. And I would think they're still going to sell some general admission tickets, but you never know. You never know. Maybe it does pick up even more where they stop selling, but I think the general thought is you could probably still get in the facility on race day, but you might even have a hard time with 2 people sitting together unless you order in advance.
For the 100th on Carb Day, it was Journey, and we kind of guessed from the overhead views that there was maybe 75,000 people watching that show. And I didn't think that was a highball effort at all. I thought that was pretty accurate.
I believe that's
around 75K or something.
That's probably right.
Because it's been out for 2 years. There's been no Carb Day party for 2 years because of the COVID-related hiatus. Do you think that maybe not to that level, but do we see certainly a much higher level than we have seen recently when the thing's actually taken place this year?
So who are the bands? I think they
Kings
will go over
of Chaos.
Well. They're going to go over well, right?
Rick Springfield. Listen, I've told Doug Bowles this, and I like who they have because you got a mixture of rock folks that you know that are going to play their catalogs of music. Each one will. And Kings of Chaos. You got Rick Springfield. And you got Morris Day at the time.
That'll be big.
You could have me out there making fart sounds with my armpit, and people are going to go, woo! You know, they just want to go back out there and be a part of it. So it is good to have quality entertainment, and this will provide quality entertainment while also providing that party that everybody has missed for the past 2 years.
And the IndyCar practice is 2 hours long. The pit stop competition is back. Unfortunately, there's no Indy Lights race, but that's why the IndyCar practice, one of the reasons why it's a little bit longer. So, and that allows, you to get started a little bit earlier in the afternoon.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to drink out of that jug that they pass around, the snake pit juice? Remember me and Emma Dixon was awesome because I would chug it I chugged it for 10 seconds on the air. I handed it to her. She didn't even wipe the top off.
Emma's good people.
And she went like 11 to 12 seconds. It was incredible. I thought, that's it. That was pretty good. I don't know if we're allowed to do that anymore, are we? This day and age?
It's probably frowned upon.
Yeah.
Why don't you just bring a spare cup? So I'll try to stop by, or maybe you just call me. I mean,
good idea. Yeah, just come on by.
So
whenever
we're
you
doing
want.
an event out at Raceway Park again that night where Jackson races and the Road to Indy. So we'll do a little show out there after you're done. And then we've also got the Burger Bash coming back on Monday the 23rd. So the day of the final practice, the day after qualifying, just right next to the Speedway at the USAC building at the corner of 16th and Main. So you're welcome to come by on your way home that night, even though it's not really in your direction. But I think we'll have quite a few drivers coming by for that. We're selling tickets inside for charity for a VIP area, but it's free outside in the parking lot, all benefiting the IU Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center, which is my son Jackson's primary sponsor in USF 2000 this year.
How close is Jackson from getting a sniff, a possibility in an Indy car?
Oh, at least we wouldn't even explore that. He's still two steps away.
2 steps away?
Yeah, there's no reason to try to do this until you're ready. So he's still got
the goal?
More seasoning. Yeah, it's always
sure.
the goal. Yeah, he wants to be a driver. We've got some work to do, and we've still got a lot more money to raise to get to that point. But he likes IMS, and he was really good in testing last fall. His teammate is Parnelli Jones' grandson. One of his teammates, Jagger Jones, who's really, really good, and he and Jackson were back and forth for the top spot in the test last October. So hopefully that goes well.
Do you have you ever thought about how much money you put into this Jackson Lee racing effort over the years?
I haven't added it up because it would sadden me. So luckily at this point, it's moved way past the financial level that I can really do much with.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, the budget is close to $500,000. So I spend all of my spare time basically as the manager of this program and working on partnerships and then trying to provide value for those partnerships to retain them and find others. Honestly, we have some advantages that other racing dads don't, in that I have a platform and I have access in the paddock. That's what racing sponsorship really is about. It's not about visibility for the sticker on the car. It's about inviting guests into the paddock, giving them an experience that they can't pay for. You can't do this in any other sport. You cannot stand next to the quarterback for the coin toss, but you can stand next to the driver before he climbs into the race car, and there is real value in that in B2B relationships. So that's what I've done. The best platform for a driver to make it is dad is super, super wealthy, and honestly, that's the most common platform and path. But there are a few drivers that do it the other way and work on relationships, and some just win a lot of scholarships, like the Kyle Kirkwoods of the world.
I don't know.
He didn't come for money.
Would Ty Dillon have a ride right now if it didn't work out that way?
A lot of drivers. Paul Menard, and these guys are competent, quality drivers,
right,
but it's a combination. You have to be good enough. No matter how much money you have, if you're terrible, the family's going to lose interest and stop spending money, or the teams are going to ask for an ungodly amount of money to put you in the car. So it's not going to continue. So even if you are a, quote, ride buyer, you still have talent to be able to get to that level, but you just have a longer leash and more wiggle room to kind of develop the more financing that you have. But these guys are all good. It's just a combination. You have to be good, and you have to have somebody paying for it.
Kevin Lee of NBC, also of Trackside. He and Kurt Cavan coming at you tonight at 7 o'clock, and they have Stephen Wilson on the show coming up later on, and he may or may not run the Mini coming up tomorrow morning. And they're saying it's not looking promising.
Oh, really?
For you wanting to run the Mini.
Oh, last I heard it was like a drizzle. So I'll check.
Really?
With Kevin Gregory and Chuck Lofton and my trusted lieutenants.
I'm sorry, that was somebody. It wasn't. That wasn't about the weather forecast. It may be a little overcast tomorrow, is what they're saying. So you might be all right.
I can deal with overcast. Yeah.
All right, go get it, man. Tell Jackson we said hey.
It is good to see you. We'll see you out at the track. Will you be at GP weekend?
Oh, I think so.
If not, we'll see you
at least for the pre.
Week.
I don't think for the post, but I think I'll be out there for the pre.
Okay.
So you give
Watch
me all the
on
information.
NBC, everyone.
You're gonna have to come on, and you're gonna have to come and be with me for a while. So
okay.
All right.
You're out there race morning?
Oh yeah.
We're not on until 11 this year, so I have a little bigger window. We don't have a pre-race.
We start at 5. So be there at 5:05.
last year, that's about when we got there. I'm hoping it's a little later this year.
I think I'm doing the JMV takeover on B and then going out there. I'm going to sleep, I think, in my vehicle and then get out.
But that's normally how you rolled the night before the race. Anyway,
I have slept in. That wouldn't be the first time I've slept in my vehiel. Exactly. You're right. Appreciate you, buddy.
It's good to see you.
Right back at you. Kevin Lee of NBC. Tracksides at 7 o'clock later on tonight. We got more to come. I'm going to hit this coming up at the top of the hour, and I want you guys to be around. I have some Colts stuff that I want to talk about. Quarterback position, wide receiver position, the kicker, and more coming up. So I want you guys to stick around for that. Top of the hour, we'll do it. Alex Golden setting the pace regarding my thoughts and his on the Pacers handling wherever they draft as far as the lottery is concerned. That's coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Stevie Nicks tickets and Carb Day tickets to give away. The return of Miller Lite Carb Day the 27th of May with Kings of Chaos, Rick Springfield, and Morris Day and the Time. Your chance to win those. And Bob Lovell's going to join us coming up next.
Tony Katz here. Stay tuned for All American Heroes, a look at military history at the track, brought to you by HeroLoan.com.
The VA loan is one of the best benefits of being in the military. You can buy a home with no money down. You can refinance and cash out up to 100% of your home's equity. And interest rates are up to a full point lower than other loans. At HeroLoan.com, we want to earn your business. We pay for the appraisal and can close your VA loan in as little as 14 days. Get the loan you deserve and apply online today at HeroLoan.com. The only way to VA. NMLS number 1326241.
This is Jake Query of IndyCar Radio. Some 500 winners of yesteryear that served in a military uniform include Lee Wallard, Bob Swikert, Sam Hanks, Jimmy Bryan, Roger Ward, Bobby Unser, and Johnny Rutherford. During World War II, 1925 winner Peter DiPaolo and 1930 winner Billy Arnold both attained the rank of lieutenant colonel while serving in Europe.
HeroLoan.com, the only way to VA.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
You found the one? Now find the ring. Come to Shane Company. Our team of jewelry consultants will do whatever it takes to help you find the perfect engagement ring. Not only are we knowledgeable about diamonds and sapphires, ring settings, and financing options, but we're problem solvers too. Just the other day, a guy came in who wanted to surprise his girlfriend with a spectacular engagement ring, but he wasn't certain what style she would like. So we came up with a great solution. Get a classic solitaire diamond ring for the proposal. Then set up an appointment to come back as a couple and create her dream ring. He did just that. He selected a 1 1/4 carat oval diamond and had it set in a solitaire ring setting. Then, after the proposal, he and his fiancée came back together and swapped it for a pave ring setting and added a halo decorative crown to give it even more sparkle. When she put it on, she was beaming. He pulled off an amazing proposal and she got the ring of her dreams.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Golfers, you're invited to make the short trip to experience Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville. Antler Point is under new ownership and just underwent renovations and is ready for you to experience this spring. Weekday specials, senior specials, and affordable weekends, 18 or 9 holes. AntlerPointGolf.com is less than an hour from Indy. You want to play more golf in 2022? Give Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville a swing. You'll be glad you came. AntlerPointGolf.com. That's point with an E. See you soon.
Hey, it's Jake Query. Do you need more racing this month? Look no further than the Tom Wood Group Indianapolis Speedrome, powered by Lincoln Tech. Saturday nights at the Speedrome feature family-friendly racing action, great food, free parking, and outrageous fun, always capped off by the world-famous wild and unpredictable figure 8. Adult tickets are only $10. Kids 8 and under are free. The Indianapolis Speedrome at the corner of Brookville Road and Kitley Avenue and 1 mile west of 465 on Indy's southeast side. More information at speedrome.com.
Indianapolis. At Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
We're starting a family, so benefits matter to me.
You got it, Anna. Geico offers a comprehensive benefits package and paid parental leave because family matters. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even your morning coffee routine matters.
You know what they say. Live, laugh, half-calf macchiato, extra whip.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims, sales, and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis and let's get growing.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
It's Terry Stacy for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Owner Chris Ambrose says second opinions are important.
We want to make sure that you are confident in the service that you're getting from whoever. The diagnostic that we give you may be different from the one that you got before. What we hope is it'll give you peace of mind that you're getting the right solution for your problem.
Get your free second opinion from B&W by going to BigBlackTrucks.com. Your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Mother's Day weekend, and at Sundown Gardens, Friday through Sunday, 20% off all hanging baskets. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road or sundown.gardens.com.
Put on your helmet. It's about to get real.
New wide receiver of the Colts, Alec Pierce. When you look at the Colts and you get a chance to go with Matt Ryan, what'd you think?
I was super excited. I thought it was a great opportunity. They're a very storied franchise, had a lot of success in the past. With Matt Ryan coming here towards the end of his career, he came here with intentions to win a Super Bowl. So I think they got a team that's capable of doing that, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I'm hungry. I'm dirty. I'm losing my mind.
Let's go. Let's set it the pace. Going to be here in the 5 o'clock hour. Hope everybody enjoyed last night, whether it was Cinco de Mayo festivities, or if you checked out Journey and Toto down at Gamebridge Fieldhouse and you won tickets with me, hopefully you enjoyed that. Got the Colts conversation coming up in just a bit as well. I got some thoughts and some interesting points I think you guys will want to be a part of coming up here at the top of the hour. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, our friend every Friday in the 3 o'clock hour from Indiana Sports Talk, Bob Lovell, 9:30 Friday, 9:30 Saturday. Friday, Saturday, during the week, every week, most weeks, shall we say. Bob Lovell joins us now. Hello, Bob. How are you?
Hey, John. I'm doing great. How are you?
Most weeks, Eric Hunter Jr. is going to Butler to play.
I like that. I don't understand why he left Purdue, but if you got to go somewhere, go to the Dogs.
Yeah, they looked like they had a level of interest in Rob Finney for a bit, and Eric Hunter Jr. makes himself available, and he ends up now as what I guess figures to be the starting point guard with the Butler Bulldogs, and Thad Matta's return coming up this year.
Well, that's a big get. I mean, that's a quality acquisition without question. Guy's got experience. I like how he guards people. Loved him in high school. Thought he was he's a winner. Your team wins a championship. He's got range. Maybe he needs to be more consistent, but I think he's a great addition to what's going to be, I think, a pretty good team.
Yeah, and it's just a part of that parade into the transfer portal, in and out of the transfer portal that you love so much.
I don't, but it can. if things fall into place, it can make you a good team overnight. I mean, it really can. It can help you dramatically. And again, the numbers have to line up, the stars have to align, but you can help yourself dramatically in a short amount of time, whereas in the past, it would take a little bit of time.
That's what Thad Matta wants. That's what the Butler fans want. They like the splash that they made in hiring Matta. And now, a couple of different circumstances. They get guys, they retain guys for one, and then bring in, Manny Bates from NC State a little bit early in the week as a big man, and Eric Hunter Jr. today. So I'm sure everybody, as far as the offseason news is concerned, if you're a Butler Bulldog fan, you've been pretty happy so far.
I would think so, because you bring in guys who have played with quality teams, championship-level teams, with great cultures, and so you add to that, and you come in and bring a skill with both of them. You're pretty solid and fill some needs that the Boilers have.
So Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk, tonight, tomorrow night. He's got you covered with all the news, including that Eric Hunter Jr. to Butler news, along with the latest this week in high school athletics and the sectional realignment. I talked to Kyle Nedenrip a little bit earlier this week about that. Let me get your thoughts on, every year you kind of go through this. You get a little bit of movement here or there with these teams. What have you thought about what you witnessed and what you read about earlier this week regarding sectional realignment?
Well, I think it kind of went as most people thought it would. The question mark was going to be who was going to head from the northern part of the city, who was going to head north and be in the football sectionals in Fort Wayne with those schools. And so, you had a few. You didn't have a great number of teams that could go there. So, HSE and Carmel and teams on that side of town, just some things happened. And so, I don't think anything earth-shattering has happened here, John, in terms of transforming sectionals. I think the sectionals are tough. It's not easy to win, and there are certainly some people who are unhappy because there's going to be some more travel involved, I think, for some schools.
Yeah, and that I guess is kind of the case. I don't know what you can get around that. I don't know. To me, the odd one is, and this is out of the area, it's just where I'm from, is North Davies in 3A is a little weird to me right there.
You mean in basketball?
Yeah, that's a little weird to me.
Well, I can explain that to you.
Please do.
And I have plenty of time because I know you'll let me.
I will let you.
Let me stay on at least until 7.
Yes.
Brent Dalrymple. I went down and spoke to their championship banquet, and then excuse me. A couple of weeks later, the reclassification happens, and I called him, and I said, I might not be the only person to ask, but just exactly what are you doing? And he said, look, we feel like we are a 1A team. We're a 1A school, but the numbers don't add up that way. And he said, the 2A schools are teams we know a lot about us. If we played before, they can prepare for our style. They understand how to play us. He said, I really think that we have a chance to play at the Hatchet House. I think it'd be a great experience for our kids. And he said, excuse me, he said, I think we can beat these teams who don't have that familiarity with us. I think we can have success.
Yeah. Well, it's
a roll of the dice now, I will tell you.
It is. It is. For sure. I hope that it works out too. I mean, on the surface, I go, yeah, I like that you want to go at it that way, but it is a roll of the dice and how this ultimately could turn out.
It is, and it's just one of those things where the biggest issue people have with reclassification is normally travel, and it doesn't necessarily mean in the sectionals. You're talking about regionals and semi-states where you're traveling all over, where. And the other part of it, too, is if you're, like 5A, 6A football, no place for you to play down south. There aren't that many schools. And so the large numbers of schools are clearly here in central Indiana and up north. And so, you're never going to satisfy everybody. So you still have to win games to win championships. So let's go play it.
So Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk is with us. This Carmel Center Grove schedule for this year is they're going to be, especially in football in this case, coming up in the late summer and going into the fall. There are going to be some oddities to it because of the lack of conference affiliation.
Well, I think it's going to be a challenge for them for a couple reasons. Obviously, you're changing conferences or you're dropping out of one. And this is all about timing. It's not like you can just put together a schedule in a matter of a couple of days. It takes a while to do this. So you've got to be on the phone. You've got to get lucky. Some teams have to have some availabilities because it's not just you moving your schedule around. It's a lot of other people who have to be involved in this mix. And so a lot of moving parts, as we like to say, and it's not easy to do.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talks got you covered coming up later on tonight. A lot on the big show, I guess, right?
I hope so, John. I really do. We are wrapping up season number 28. We have this week plus 2 more weekends, and so we're going to talk racing, talk some Indiana All-Star basketball. Chad Johnson, the coach, is going to join us. We'll talk some college football. So we'll try to talk about a lot of different things at this time of year.
All right, well, stay on top of it, as I know you will, and we'll do it coming up next week.
All right, John, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk with us. Thank you, Bob. You too on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So I asked this inside the lounge via YouTube Live, and Sean Rogers said, what are we worrying about the backup? See, I don't know if there's any worry. This thing I'm asking the question. Asking the question about protecting yourself, especially early season protecting yourself. Do you go out and do you get a veteran backup in here just in case? So, yeah, I don't think there's any worrying. Like, I'm not going to sit here and bite my fingernails and go, oh, my God, what are they going to do? Hey, we got to get Nick Foles in here, got to get somebody in here. I don't think it's worry, but I think we do ask the question. When you do ask the question, all right, should they do that? And again, especially for the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season and anything short-term that could come along, I don't know how many games, but it's not been very many that Matt Ryan has missed. He's been pretty much Teflon. But do you protect yourself? Do you? We'll hit that. We haven't talked too much. I know a lot of you wanted me to bring this up, and I just haven't yet. Probably because I don't know how deeply rooted you actually care. But the kicking situation is going to, you would expect at some point, get interesting about who is going to be their starter. And TY or no TY moving forward. And if not TY, who might that be? We'll do that coming up at the top of the hour with you as far as the Colts conversation is concerned. Alex Golden is setting the pace. Going to drop in here in the 5 o'clock hour regarding the NBA Draft Lottery, which is on the way later on this month, and the possibilities the Pacers will have as far as high in that lottery situation is concerned. We'll do that with Alex coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Yeah, Jim says if Ellinger can't be the emergency backup, why is he on the team? Well, yeah, well, it's a good question. It's a good question. And we'll talk about that coming up at the top of the hour. You, me, at 239-1070. Email address is JMV at 1070thefan.com. On Twitter at JMV1070. I see you lurking inside the lounge via YouTube Live. Sean is in there. Vic is in there. Others in there. Ross, thank you very much for hanging in on this Mother's Day weekend starter Friday as well. The Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow, and a busy weekend when it comes to the NBA postseason as well. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
On Wednesday, May 4th, the 500 Festival Kickoff to May kicks off on Monument Circle and starts the countdown to the Indy 500. Head to 1075thefan.com/events for all the details.
Whether you are a high handicapper or regularly break par, having properly fit golf clubs is vital. For a premium custom fitting that will lower your scores, see the experts at Golf Performance Academy, located at Golf Club of Indiana. They offer many top brands, including Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Payne, Cobra, and Mizuno. And they are the home for Titleist Thursdays in the new hub for PXG fittings in the Indy area. For more information, go to golfindiana.com or call 317-769-6388.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly. Or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Hey, it's John here for Andy Moore Buick GMC 131st. State Road 37 in Fishers. His name is Eric Wilson, and he is ready to deal with you. I talk about this all the time. The absolute last thing you want in this entire process is to be hassled. How about one-stop shopping where you know they're going to have the inventory, where you know that Eric Wilson's going to deal with you with a great price tag on the ride of your choice, and you know the car buying experience is going to be the best that it can be? Seriously, one-stop shopping. The best in the state of Indiana is in Fishers. So if you're looking for a new set of wheels this spring, do that one-stop shopping with my friend Eric Wilson and Indiana's best. Andy Moore Buick GMC, that's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Jake Query here. Recently I returned to college to finish my degree, and I encourage you to join me. Whether you're like me and life simply got in the way, or you never went to college at all, Indiana offers financial assistance for those ready to move forward. If I can do it, I know you can too. If you're looking for a better job or doing it for your family, Indiana has grants to pay for over 150 certificates in high-wage industries. You're sure to find a tuition-free option that fits you. To apply, visit nextleveljobs.org today. Sponsored by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. That's nextleveljobs.org.
My mom's the bomb. Her hugs are so good, there's a wait list. Her laughter is the life of the party. Her smile makes everyone smile. Everything worth knowing, I learned from her. That's why this Mother's Day, I'm heading to Hellsberg Diamonds. They have beautiful diamond pendants, gemstone rings, and more. Hellsberg makes it easy to find a gift she'll love. One that hopefully she'll pass down to me one day, along with her secret to perfect hugs. Save big on mom-worthy gifts at a Hellsberg store near you or at hellsberg.com. Hurry, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Hey, it's Jake Query. Sprint car racing takes center stage this month at Indy's dirt track, Circle City Raceway. Sunday, May 15th, the Jonathan Bird sprint cars return to the quarter-mile bull ring, along with midgets, UMP modifieds, and micros. Adult tickets are only $10. Kids 8 and under are free. And don't forget, Indy Race Week, the USAC National Sprint Cars are in town. Circle City Raceway is family-friendly, great food, free parking, and outrageous fun. For more information, check out CircleCityRaceway.com.
Baseball is here, and so is the BetRivers.com sportsbook app, featuring same-game parlays where you can combine the excitement of different bets, all from the same game. Bet the total, spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with award-winning customer service, BetRivers.com sportsbook app, here comes a baseball joke, is a home run. Download the BetRivers.com sportsbook app today. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Skip the long lines and high cost at the banks and get pre-approved today for your next home purchase or a refinance at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326-241.
Days to go on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, I go with Dua Lipa right here for a reason, I guess. People are telling me that I need to get on TikTok and do videos to music. I don't know a thing about it. I can barely do Twitter.
I bet you Lainey's doing them.
No, Lainey and her friends do it all the time, yeah.
I don't know if we want to be seeing you doing dances.
Well, I'm not going to be dancing or anything, but people have said, hey, you do that music thing, and then you can implement that into... Can you take videos of movies and put it in? What can you... I don't know what you can do. I know zero about it.
You can use music, yeah. You'll be able to use music. Whatever music you want. I don't know about clipping from 80s movies.
So I'm assuming that's why people want me to do that. But what is my target audience in there? Because I don't want my target audience to be my 12-year-old daughter.
I don't know how many people that are on TikTok. I think TikTok, even I'm old for TikTok. And I'm 26 years old. I don't know if a lot of those people that are on TikTok are digging 80s and 90s music.
Uncouth writes this because he's incredibly uncouth. It's horrendous, but it absolutely would bring in new people. What do you think? Because I can go music all day, and it's not just like it's one certain area. I can go deep. Baby. But I don't know, like Lainey and I probably wouldn't dig on the same music. Like, I just played Dua Lipa, and she'd probably all be giggling about that, but I'm not playing that too often.
Well, I don't know what... I guess you could put movie clips. It's either that or you dancing.
I don't want to do that.
That could bring in new people. Might scare some away,
yeah,
too.
I don't want to do that. I remember back in the day when you'd go to a dance place, a dance club, something like that, back in the 1990s, and there was that one lone dude, the lone wolf on the dance floor, that wasn't viewed as cool. I think people view that as cool now. For some reason. Like back in the 70s, it must have been cool because John Travolta did it in Saturday Night Fever. Hey, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to take over. And in the 90s, we all looked at that and went, man, what a nerd Travolta is. What are you doing out there by yourself? Oh, he's going to take over. Everybody get off the floor. He's going to do that move with his knees. It was unaccepted, and now it's accepted. I don't know. I guess I need a little bit of advice. Here's the thing. How old are you again, Kyle?
Turning 27.
You're like the oldest 27-year-old ever. And I mean that in a good way.
I've heard that before.
You're the most mature and the oldest 27-year-old. So really, I should be able to go with good advice from you, but you are a little bit older. So I don't know if you have the grasp of it. So I need some good advice on this if you guys want to. I can put together some good stuff, I'm assuming, with music. Yeah, JMV, the last thing you need to be doing is dancing on TikTok. There's no doubt about that. I wouldn't be dancing on TikTok, but I can put some music videos together and have fun with that, I guess. I just don't know what audience I would be effectively trying to reach right there. Yeah, we did mention this a little bit earlier today. Eric Hunter Jr. has committed as a transfer from the transfer portal. He has emerged a member of the Butler Bulldog basketball program of Thad Matta. Eric Hunter Jr. in a Butler uni coming up this year, presumably will be the starting point guard. Eric Hunter Jr. All right, quick break and we'll come back. I do want to talk with you guys about a variety of Colts stuff coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, and I have a lot of time. You guys are asking for Race Trash, anything goes. How far after 6 do we go tonight? Do we know?
Yeah, not too far.
All right, so we may end up doing it at the end of the 5 o'clock hour, but we'll do some Colt stuff coming up on the other side. A couple of different topics we'll work in and get to your calls at 239-1070. All right, tickets to give away. We have the return of Miller Lite Carb Day. Coming up on May the 27th, when you hear a re-entry song from somebody from a band, the music of somebody that's going to be a part of Kings of Chaos, Rick Springfield, and Morris Day and the Time, that's going to be your cue to call and be caller 9. Stevie Nicks on June the 21st at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. I've got tickets for that as well. When you hear a Stevie Nicks solo, duet, or Fleetwood Mac re-entry, number 9 is going to get a chance to win those tickets as well. Later on in the show, you got to listen to win. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The grass grows taller. Fathers take sons for their first trip to the Speedway. Sons take fathers to their 50th. Family traditions wrapped in checkered black and white. This is May in Indiana.
Starting to form in a perfect formation.
And this is your station for the month of May.
Green flag fly. Helio takes the lead on a turn one. Right high into the
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Springtime in Indy. The home really took a hit this winter. Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41. So don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Spectrum is America's leading internet provider, delivering ultra-fast gig speeds you need on the high-performance network you want. And Spectrum's advanced home Wi-Fi is security made simple, automatically blocking outside threats, along with 99.9% network reliability. So no matter what you do online, you can do it faster, safer, and more reliably with Spectrum Internet. Get 200 megabits per second for only $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com today for details. Based on internet subscribers among top internet service providers. Restrictions apply.
It's Terry Stacy, last-minute Mother's Day shoppers. For all the moms in your life, your best bet on finding the perfect gift is at Cynthia's Hallmark. 4 locations, helpful staff that's going to point you in the right direction depending on what your mom loves. Gardening? Cynthia's has some of the most beautiful solar garden stakes and solar blown glass wind chimes. A variety of art poles which bring beautiful artwork into any landscape. For the mom that loves to entertain, Cynthia's Hallmark still has a variety of the very popular charcuterie boards from Mud Pie, starting at just $24.99. For the moms that like a little pampering, I bet you would love lemon lavender silky satin pillowcases. Rave reviews, just $12.99. Cynthia's Hallmark carries brands you know: Yeti, Pandora, Ronaldo designer jewelry, Willow Tree, and Mother's Day favorites she'll love from Vera Bradley. Happy Mother's Day from locally owned Cynthia's Hallmark, 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
Now through May 10th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for $1 down and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, Mr. I can't sleep at night, so I keep dozing off during the day.
Especially you, Snoozy. You'll rest easier and feel fit-tacular.
Wait, how did you get in here?
Join in club or at planetfitness.com. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends May 10th. See club for details.
This is May. Racing ignites May 14th with the GMR Grand Prix as the stars of the NTT IndyCar Series rip through the twists and turns of the IMS Road Course. The 21st and 22nd, drama, speed, and excitement with qualifying in the Fast 9. Then Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Carb Day, returns with Kings of Chaos and Rick Springfield on the 27th. And all roads lead to the 106th running of the Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge on Sunday, May 29th. Come back home again. Tickets at IMS.com.
Hey, John here from my friends at Forum Credit Union, and you can take the Double Shot Challenge in the month of May and be rewarded while growing your savings. So Forum Credit Union will make it easy to save for all of your goals and in the month of May. Here's the challenge. Take the money you would normally spend on your favorite morning drink and deposit that into your Forum Challenge account. After 12 months of savings, members who have made regular deposits are entered to win $1,378. That easy to do. For any more info, slide by one of those branch locations of Forum Credit Union today, or just simply log on. Get the info right now. That's forumcu.com.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. Mother's Day weekend is here. Don't forget all that Sundown Gardens has to offer. Great items in Miss Mary's gift shop, gift certificates, and the famous Sundown Gardens Mother's Day hanging basket sale. 20% off all hanging baskets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday through Sunday, Sundown has also got a rosebush sale starting at $25. Rose bushes make a nice Mother's Day gift, and it's a gift that gives year after year. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, or sundown.gardens.com.
Yeah, that's right. I bet you didn't expect to see me here. Well, here I am. Let me tell you about a little something called respect. You ever heard of it? You know what? I think it's
You're good at using your time in the shower to replay conversations and say what you should have said. We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
I think it's time for you to get out. You should just leave.
Pay off your debt in 21 days or less and apply for your simple cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
Beyond the Bricks with Jake Query and Mike Thompson. Weeknights at 8 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I might have to just implement this type of music if I jump onto TikTok right now. I value the opinion of those inside the lounge via YouTube Live right here. You guys got to back me up on this. Yes or no? Griff Pope says no. Big Glenn says yes. Pull out the Phoebe Cates from Fast Times. Sean Rogers says yep. Sean says, why is John blue with a wrench? We've answered that question before. I have a wrench because I'm allowed to screw with things here, right? If I want to. Hey, by the way, you got to hit that like button. I don't know what it means, but it makes me feel a hell of a lot better. And if you don't, you know how sensitive I am. Just makes me feel good. On this Mother's Day weekend, celebrate that. Have a great time. Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow. NBA postseason. The Reds, a smattering of fans in the stands with the Reds and the Pirates opening up a huge weekend set at Great American Ballpark where tickets can be had for $20. I mean, good seats for $20. Seriously good seats for $20. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. Nick Kroll, their general manager today, basically saying, hey, if you're going to blame somebody, blame him. Well, yeah, you blame him and you blame the owners. You blame them is who you blame. To me, you do what you did before the start of the season to cut payroll, to make yourself certainly more money further down the road before you end up, which I believe they're going to do, sell the team at some point. I don't know if you thought that you were going to be on this date in May through 25 games, winners of 3 of those. The Reds, by the way, are already, we're not to Mother's Day yet, 14 and a half games back of first place in the National League Central. We are touching on a level of awful that is going to break some new ground if it's not careful here. Or at the very least, it's going to break some new ground that hasn't been broken since like the 1800s. So incredible. Skivvy says you got to get footage of Rick snoring and put that on TikTok. That was earlier in the week. Eric Hunter Jr., he's transferring out of the transfer portal, he is, and going to the Butler Bulldogs. That announcement was made earlier today. Trace Jackson Davis of IU. I'm going to leave you hanging here for a minute. He got that invite. Got that NBA Combine invite. So some people had wondered. He has that, and he's going to get a look. He's going to get a look at what they think about him. So Trey's got the combine invite. I think it was Zach Osterman down at the Star that had that covers IU a little bit earlier today. Actually, well, within the past 15 minutes or so, I believe, is when that news came out. Thomas writes this, JMV, here's a follow-up for you. I ate these smoked pork chops from Bearded Swine. So good. Tender and juicy. I promised those over at the Bearded Swine that I'll get there. Because I am a tremendous meat connoisseur. I am a fan of meats. Actually, meats and cheeses. True story. But I will get there at some point. Good afternoon from sunny California. Michigan Wolverines. I like that. Sunny California, everybody. All right, we got a lot to talk about here. I'm going to get into my Colts conversation with you as well with a variety of things. I'll set that up in a second. Todd's going to join us right now at 239-1070. Todd, welcome to the show.
Hey, John. Hey, you're doing, I got a Reds thing for you, but just, did you ever dig Brigitte Fonda back in the day?
Oh, Bridget Fonda, absolutely. In singles?
I thought she was underrated in that same genre.
Yeah, she was in single white female with Jennifer Jason Leigh as well, remember? Where Jennifer Jason Leigh dressed up like her and such. But then she just kind of, in the mid to late 90s, kind of faded out of sight.
Yeah, I just when you get into that kind of conversation.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I was all about Entertainment Weekly and People Magazine back in the day, so I was on top of it then.
Hey, and this is just a question because my memory gets weaker as I go. Did Marty retire this past off season or before last year's Reds season?
Before last year. Before last year.
I think he saw something.
I don't know. Well, see, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody told him, "Hey, but I don't. Yeah, I think he was just planning on doing it anyway.
I mean, he's so good for so long, and I'm glad for Marty that he doesn't have to actually.
Me too. Those guys have nothing else to say. Did you see that play from yesterday's game in Milwaukee with Stevenson and Moustakas over near the third base dugout, and nobody made the play, and it dropped harmlessly to the turf, a foul ball. And that's like the third or fourth time so far this season they have described it as, well, that's just in a thumbnail sketch of this Reds team so far this year.
Yeah. I mean, when you're yearning for Dan Dreesen, that tells you something. So
all day long.
All right, buddy.
All day long. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Todd. Yeah, Nancy wants to give me some love to Brandon Peters from Avon, the quarterback. I think he signed as a undrafted free agent with the L.A. Rams, I believe. BT Dew says the Reds number is down to 5 to be eliminated from playoff contention. They're 14.5 games back in the Central. We're not to Mother's Day yet. That's sick. Do you know the Reds are 14.5 games back? Do you know which team out there right now is second furthest back within a division? Can you guess? Do you have?
I'm going to guess someone in the NL West, because the Dodgers are...
It is the NL East. It is the Washington Nationals at 9-18, trailing the 19-9 Mets to start the season by 9.5 games.
Did you see that Mets comeback yesterday?
The Reds are 5 full games further back than that. That's incredible. You know how awful that is? 5 games clear of that in the cellar. That's incredible. 3 stinking games they've won. Here's what's scary. Then you start thinking about how in the world did they win 3 of those games? And then you think about this. They won 2 of their first 4 against defending champion Atlanta in Atlanta to start the season. They've won one game since that opening series. That's incredible.
Is it the last time the Reds won April 24th versus the Cardinals?
Yeah, I think so.
That correctly?
Yeah, I think so. They won their first. They took 2 of 4 from Atlanta. Remember? Because after that opener, and they had Joey Votto mic'd up on that Thursday night. Remember? Oh, it was great. Joey Votto's funny. Everything's funny. And that was basically the high water mark this year. They were over 500 in that first game. They actually beat the Braves. If you want to get over there this weekend for the Pirates and the Red Series, seriously cheap tickets, you can take the whole hee-haw gang over there if you want. Celebrate Mother's Day with the entire family at Great American Ballpark. Buy a round of Frisch's Big Boys for everybody, too, because the tickets, look them up, those tickets are incredibly cheap. Yeah, it's classic right there. Warwick is at 239-1070. Warwick, join this show on a Friday. Thank you.
Hey, John, you woke me up.
Hey, I have that effect on people clearly on hold. I found that out this week.
A good show as always.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, the Colts engaged with a cornerback from the Giants named Bradbury, I think, several times. And now, for financial reasons, the Giants are set to release him. Do you think Bradbury will be the starting corner opposite Gilmore on day one for the Colts?
I would say no, and here's why. I think that they may not be completely done in, depth-wise, but I think they're done at that particular level in their secondary. What is he, 29 years old? He's a former All-Pro guy, and he's been a good player, there's no doubt. With the Giants, I think he carries a heavy cap hit, so he's either going to get traded or cut. More than likely, he's going to get cut. I just don't think that second chance opportunity is going to be here. I think, to me, you get Gilmore, and I know there's some question how much time he's going to actually give you there, but you got Gilmore, and you know that they love Isaiah Rodgers as well. So I would doubt that James Bradbury would be in play here.
And my second question is, what do you make of the Colts giving that offensive tackle from UConn, Van Denmark, $175,000 to sign?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I guess, yeah, maybe they see a little bit of something. That's not the highest dollar, I guess, for guys like that. But I think that's more commonplace than I think what you would know, Warwick.
Okay, thanks, John.
You got it, Warwick. You call anytime. Thank you. My man went deep on that there. I'm glad we were ready with our James Bradbury content. Listen, the guy is probably going to land someplace else and help another team's defense out. It would seem like it wouldn't be here. It seems like it wouldn't be here. Like, here's what we see right now. Are you guys ready with the Colts? Warwick has provided me an opening here. I've got an ample hole to run through as far as the Colts are concerned. We spent this week in its entirety talking about the draft. But you still wonder what they may or may not do. All right, you asked me this. He asked about the corner and James Bradbury. I gave my opinion. We have talked about a veteran wide receiver. We have talked about a veteran backup quarterback. We have yet to talk amply about the kicking situation. So clearly what's going to happen when they get to camp, there's going to be a kicking competition in that camp. They bring back Badgley for that? You got Blankenship already here.
Badgley, he was pretty good. I don't know why you wouldn't bring him in for a competition.
You're going to have a kicking competition for that start coming up this summer. For the backup quarterback, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier because Sean Rogers had asked me this, are you nervous or worried about the backup? I'm not worried about it. I just think they're going to address it. I think they're going to address it because if you remember a year ago in week 3 with Carson Wentz, they got caught with their pants down. They had to roll him out there. They didn't feel comfortable with anybody else, and they had to roll him out there. And he couldn't walk, barely could walk. Certainly couldn't move. Sure as hell should not have been participating at quarterback in an NFL game. So to me, they're going to address the backup quarterback with a veteran, and then you kind of get the who's who of those names. And the most commonly brought up is that of Nick Foles, which I would guess is firmly, squarely in play here. And it does make sense. It does make sense considering that was such a winnable game in Week 3 in Tennessee. And I'm not suggesting if you have Nick Foles or any other backup quarterback that you're going to win, but at least if you had a quarterback that was able to move. Now, you remember, they really got beat down there by complementary pieces and the Titans. That's kind of how they got beat there. Nick Westbrook, the former Hoosier. What was his? What was the running back? What was his name? McNichol. I think he scored a touchdown on him too. He had like a 10-yard berth. Remember where he got into the end zone and nobody got to him after 10 yards? For memory serves. So I think that they address it just in case. Again, you haven't had much reason to do that in the past. But just in case, I think this is going to be addressed with a veteran backup quarterback. Hopefully you don't need it, but I think that they're going to address it. And you can just kind of go through the who's who, and obviously Nick Foles will be at the top of that list. The other part about this is, too, and we've discussed this as far as wide receiver is concerned, I initially thought that if it was going to be a veteran wide receiver brought in, that it wouldn't be anybody else, and it would just be T.Y. Hilton, that they would just roll with T.Y. Hilton. But the more and more you hear, the more and more where you kind of think that won't be in play, and maybe somebody else will. So maybe my point earlier in the week that it would be either T.Y. or nobody else. T.Y. they're going to roll with what they have right now. You maybe watch, maybe think a little bit more about a veteran name guy being brought in here. Maybe the way that thing is sounding. Yeah, maybe somebody that has, which I would have not thought about too much, because you guys ask me all the time, so who is it going to be? Is it going to be Jarvis Landry? Do they have interest in him? Would it be Julio Jones? And I've always been dismissive, not so much of Jarvis Landry, but of Julio Jones. Maybe there's a reason to re-spark that thinking. Maybe there is a reason to re-spark that thinking. And we'll have the weekend, Mother's Day weekend, to think about it, come back on Monday and talk a little bit about it. But that's something certainly we shall get to. And that does, from what I had thought to where I am right now, that kind of twisted a little bit. It seems like they are certainly looking. And it doesn't sound like it's in the direction of T.Y. And I would have thought that would have been turned upside down or backwards in this case. But I guess you look at it at the back end of this, you got a guy that was healthy and inactive, that was a rookie coming out of Charleston last year to Mike Strachan, that you don't think is ready. You get Desmond Patman that had a touchdown catch on Christmas night in Arizona, but do you lend a lot of responsibility on his shoulders? So I thought if they were going to go veteran wide receiver, that would be somebody that already had a great deal of experience here, but maybe it's going to end up being somebody with a great deal of experience with their new quarterback. All that is worthy of conversation. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves regarding that over the weekend, too, and we'll double back on that on Monday and see where we are. David's at 239-1070 right now. Hello, David. How are you?
I'm fine. Got a question for you, John.
Yes.
How familiar? I'm from Alexandria, Indiana, Madison County.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just north of Anderson. how familiar are you with the Anderson Speedway?
I know I've been there before. I've been around the figure eight. It is pretty cool. I know where it is in town. I have never attended a race there. I actually took a tour of it one afternoon before when the Colts were still in camp up in Anderson. We went early, and me and Conrad Brunner, who used to work here as well, went out for a kind of a joyride on it one afternoon before the Colts had a practice.
Okay. All right. That's said and done. Now, the little 500, it's every year. It's the night before the big 500 down in Indianapolis. Okay?
Right.
33 cars. They're 3 wide, just like the big race down in Indy. All right? It's famous. And I'll tell you what, that's the only track in the United States that's banked so high for a quarter mile. There ain't no track like it in the United States, if not the world. It's fast. And what I'm saying is, you ain't going to believe there's one NASCAR driver. A lot of them's already raced their AG14 race. There are a bunch of NASCAR drivers back in the years, the heyday. They've raced there in the little 500 before the big race. Now, Ryan Newman's running that race this week.
Yeah.
I mean, this year.
Yeah. Yep.
He's going to be there. It's already in the paper here. And, you know, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it is really cool. And I have a great deal of admiration for Ryan, too, because he's a part of the Indiana Donor Network. He does such great work with the Indiana Donor Network. So there is no doubt. The other part of this is that I remember going back to, where was this? Maybe 2007, somewhere in that neighborhood, the Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana that was on HBO. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Yep, I remember all those guys. They actually came out with me on a couple of different shows when I worked at a different spot. Wild Willie, and Sammy, and all those guys showed up out with me one day.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah.
So I watched that when it was on HBO. I watched it and it was weird. I think this goes back to 2008. But what was weird about it, I had a great deal of enjoyment in watching it. I thought it was entertaining, but most of the people in and around Anderson hated that.
Wow.
Yeah, they hated it.
That track is so famous. It really is. A lot of people don't realize that. But that's a shame that race is the night before the big race, because I like to go to that both races. It's hard to do. So I got to get down to Indianapolis early in the morning. The race ain't over until about 11 o'clock at night.
Well, I'm a big fan of Ryan Newman just because of his affiliation with the Indiana Donor Network. So that's cool.
I'm so glad he's running that race.
Yep,
that's pretty cool.
David, you call it anytime.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you. Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana. Anybody remember that? Those guys. I did a show at Sullivan Steakhouse at Keystone at the Crossing with my good friend who still works there and runs things fantastically, John Stanley. So we had a show there on the other station. This goes back to, this is probably 08, maybe even 09. I think it was in the neighborhood of 08, 09, whatever. We were having a show there, and those guys all showed up. All of them. And it was funny. They were a great deal of fun. I think Sammy Hawkins was one, and the guy went by Wild Willie was another. I did enjoy the show on HBO. The problem is that most of the people in Anderson did not enjoy it. I think I talked to John Alpert, who was the director of it. Auto racing, an obsession in Anderson, Indiana, even with local auto factories closing down and jobs being lost, the town's residents continue to flock to the local speedway every Friday night. Dirty Driving Thunder Cars of Indiana. It may be on something right now. HBO Max, probably you can find it there if you have the means. It may be on something else. But I watched it a great deal. I was entertained by it, but most people up there did not like it. But the Anderson Speedway was fun. I remember Conrad Brunner and I, when he worked here, we went up before a Colts practice and training camp and did a tour around. It was pretty cool. Quick break and we'll come back. If you're on hold, I'll get to you. Top of the hour, Alex Golden setting the pace. I'll revisit a lot of this Colts conversation coming up on Monday's show as well, with good reason. We'll get you back coming up on Monday as well. Last word tonight at 6:30, Trackside at 7, Beyond the Bricks at 8, Indiana Sports Talk afterwards. Your calls, Alex Golden setting the pace, 5 o'clock hour, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Banks are great for car loans and credit cards, but when you need to buy a home, you need an expert. We can answer all of your questions, get you pre-approved the day you call in, and close on your refinance or home purchase in weeks, not months. Skip the long lines and high cost at the banks and get pre-approved today for your next home purchase or a refinance at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Spectrum is America's leading internet provider, delivering ultra-fast gig speeds you need on the high-performance network you want. And Spectrum's advanced home Wi-Fi is security made simple, automatically blocking outside threats, along with 99.9% network reliability. So no matter what you do online, you can do it faster, safer, and more reliably with Spectrum Internet. Get 200 megabits per second for only $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com today for details. Based on internet subscribers among top internet service providers. Restrictions apply.
Hey, Johnny, for LD Smith Plumbing, the best in plumbing. Lance and his local team. Hey, this time of year, you've got so much saturation. You got all the rain coming down. You got to make sure that your sump pump's doing the job, too. Always check on that. And if something goes haywire, 317-284-9526. That's Lance and LD Smith Plumbing to the rescue. Also, ask them about 83 or free. Call 317-284-9526 and say, I want 83 or free. So what happens with your main drain? It gets clogged and sewage will back up in your house. Make sure you're good to go. 83 or free. They're going to come out and make sure that your main drain is unclogged and ready for operation. They're going to do it for $83 or the visit is free. Ask for 83 or free at 317-284-9526. The best in plumbing, Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. Online, LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Trading in or selling your car, truck, or SUV? WeBuyAnyCar.com takes the hassle out of selling in just 3 easy steps. 1. Get your free online valuation. 2. Drive to your local car buying center. And 3. Walk out with your check in as little as 30 minutes. So don't wait. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.
When our Shane Company diamond buyers travel overseas to examine diamonds, they have everything they need to select the most beautiful stones. In-depth knowledge, experience, natural light, and an eye for beauty. When you shop with us, we want you to also have everything you'll need to select your diamond. That's why we sell our diamonds loose. We were the first jeweler in America to sell loose stones. To choose a diamond, ruby, or sapphire like an expert, you need to see the entire stone, to look at it from every angle before it's set into your jewelry. Our jewelry consultants provide everything you need to properly evaluate a stone, the tools, the correct lighting, and the knowledge. You'll compare loose stones side by side, like our diamond experts do. It's the only way you'll be sure to choose the perfect diamond for you. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, it's John here. Business owners, are you feeling the pressures of running your business? Now, there's a limit to what you can do and still keep employees engaged. Insperity can help. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work helping you with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving your employees competitive benefit options because you're able to focus on the other priorities. Your businesses can thrive and your business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Full-service HR, employee benefits, HR technology. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Start a new career with a job that keeps your community safe. The Marion County Sheriff, Carrie Forrestal, is hiring detention deputies to work in the brand new Community Justice Center. You'll supervise and guard offenders, making Marion County a better place to live. Starting pay begins at around $40,000 a year with a $5,000 signing bonus. Enjoy great benefits like complete health coverage and pension plan. Start your career as a detention deputy and earn the respect of your community. Apply today at joinmcso.indy.gov.
Get in the ring with BetMGM and you could win $200 for a $10 wager on the boxing showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Dimitri Bivol. Just use bonus code TheFan200. Again, that's all one word, capital T, capital F, And if the fight goes past the first round, you'll receive $200 back in free bets. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com, then use that promo code, TheFan200, and bet $10 on the mega fight everyone's been waiting for. If the fight goes past the first round, you'll claim a $200 payday. And don't forget to watch live on DAZN May 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Awards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Terry Stacy here with your American Standard Race Day weather, brought to you by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville. Sunday, the boys from NASCAR head to Darlington, South Carolina to win at the track Too Tough to Tame. Perfect racing weather at the Green Flag, partly sunny in 72. And Formula One debuts in Miami on Sunday. Scattered showers expected in South Florida. This has been the American Standard Race Day weather forecast, brought to you by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same?
I'm going to see how good you guys are right here. David Wood told us when we started this, I will only play the hits. This is a hit, but I don't know if you immediately would get this. One half of this duet right here is going to be a part of Kings of Chaos and the return of Miller Lite Carb Day, the 27th of May. That's Lita Ford. Lita Ford along with John Waite. Lita Ford and Jack Blades. Lita Ford and Sebastian Bach. Lita Ford and Matt Sorum. Lita Ford and Gilby Clark, among others. They will form Kings of Chaos and play all, and I mean all, of their incredible hits. Number 9 at 239-1070 can get tickets to Miller Lite Carb Day. I was just going back and forth with Doug Bowles, Speedway president. He's liking things right now. That's a good thing. And number 9 at 239-1070. Lita Ford of Lita Ford, solo Lita Ford of the Runaways. If you remember Sherry Curry, Lita Ford, and Joan Jett of the Runaways. It is going to be a great time. Again, Miller Lite Carb Day tickets on sale right now out at IMS May the 27th. Number 9 is going to go because we like you a great deal right here. And we do that for you every Thursday and Friday on this show. That's a hell of a song, by the way, too. That is a hell of a song. Good duet with Ozzy. Lita. And we'll be out at Miller Lite Carb Day as well, Pagoda Plaza, with our celebration per usual. It's going to be pretty wild. So prepare for wildness, which is exactly the way that we love it. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. I'm trying to find my email here, and I can't locate it. I got something opened up someplace else. That's, of course, not your problem. That is all a me problem right here. All right, back to the phones. Rob is up next. Hello, Rob. How are you?
How you doing, JMV? Good to talk to you,
Right
sir.
back at you, Rob. Go ahead.
Listening to the last caller, Anderson Speedway, my favorite memory is taking my daughter at 10 years old, and she got to see for her first time a figure eight race where a car rolled up on another. Both drivers got in a fight, and an APD officer tased the guy and got sued for it. It was incredible.
Wait a minute. Was that like the Thunder Cars of Indiana thing?
Might have been there. I'm not sure.
Wild Willie and Sammy Hawkins.
I know both of those guys, who they are. Yes, sir.
They showed up. They showed up at Sullivan Steakhouse, I think back in 2008. It's been a while ago when I was doing a show there. They came out and talked about Thunder Cars of Indiana. HBO really wanted to promote it, but I don't think a lot of the folks in Anderson, Indiana really wanted that promoted. So it was a little weird back then.
Also, as far as your radio show tomorrow night goes, we would love to request a one-hit wonder 90s soundtrack double shot for you.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
The Commitments, Try a Little Tenderness, and That Thing You Do by the Wanderers off that soundtrack.
Oh, the little 90s with the Wonders right there is where you're going. That was just on the...
And the Commitments, both the 90s.
I was watching that the other night. Thomas Everett Scott is the star who plays Guy, the drummer in that. And remember, he was out...
Liv Tyler, Steve Zahn.
Yeah, he was out at the Speedway with Alicia Silverstone maybe 3 or 4 years ago before the Grand Prix, promoting one of those, what is it, Wimpy Kid? It was a Wimpy Kid book that was going into a movie, and they were the stars of it, and they were both out there. And I think Alicia Silverstone was repulsed by my existence in taking a photograph with me.
Oh, Sheryl Crow did the same thing to me in 1994 at the Horde concert, so we're good.
She was going, wait a minute, I got to get, how close do I got to get to this guy here? What? So, yeah. Anyway, all I can think about is, man, I remember how wild you were in The Crush. Come on. So, weird. Anyway, anything else?
All I'd say is the other one's The Commitments, one of my favorite movies from 1991. Bunch of Irish kids that play soul music.
Isn't that the song that don't they sing that on a guitar? They try to sing that on a guitar in Bull Durham.
Yes.
I think they do, if memory serves. Yeah,
Correct.
I think we're right. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm the same age as you, so my memory fades also.
Wheelhouse right there. 80 soundtracks after 8 tomorrow night with us on B105.7 in the JMV Takeover. Thanks, Rob.
All right, thank you, sir.
You got it. I think Try a Little Tenderness. Didn't Nuke Lelouch try to sing that on his guitar? I know he did one song, and then Crash Davis got mad because he got the lyrics wrong. Well, I hate people that get the lyrics wrong. You know what's funny about getting the lyrics wrong is we all got the lyrics wrong. Now you don't get the lyrics wrong because you can just Google the lyrics immediately. We all got the lyrics wrong back in the day. Almost when you think about it, some of your favorite songs, you've hosed the lyrics for years. Hey, JMV, you've got a little Cameron Diaz and there's something about Mary hair thing going today. Oh, is it stuck up there? Does it look like added my own mousse? It is kind of doing that, isn't it? It is kind of weird. Oh, is that hair gel? That's always really good. At JMV 1070 on Twitter. JMV, did you know the Bengals have won more games 4 in 2022 than the Reds 3? Think about that. Not the NFL regular season, just since the calendar year. All right. So the Bengals have won four games in 2022, which is 3 more than the Reds.
How long do you think it takes until the Reds win 2 more games to pass the Bengals?
Let me just say this. If you can't squeeze a series 3 out of 4, or I should say, what is it? It's only a 3-game series this weekend, right? If you can't win 2 of 3 from the Pirates, then you are going to absolutely lose, right? 120? They're going to lose 120. This team is that bad. And it's not like anything is going to happen to change this. They are just literally that bad.
Do you think it's possible they could not win a series the entire year? They split to start the year with the Braves.
Yeah.
They haven't won one yet.
Yeah. JMV needs to go to San Diego with Jonah next time and get a tan. I am a little pasty working here. I'm like Powder. Just call me Powder. I just don't have those like powers, those engaging powers like Powder did. I am very much so looking like Powder here. JMV needs a wash and a cut. I did wash. I just haven't cut it. I do have a little hair gel working right here. John asked this, JMV, I know it was a week or so ago, but how was the stand-up? Give us the highlights. What was the best joke? Yeah. That'd be tough. I don't know if that would work out here or not. Probably wouldn't. I can tell you this. I went up there for about 10 minutes, and I asked the crowd, most of the great folks at Daymar, they were having a good time, and it was near the end of the night. And I said, hey, do you guys want the PG or do you want the R version? And they wanted the rated R version, and they got the rated R version. And let me just tell you this. I had strategically watched both Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip and the first 45 minutes of Eddie Murphy Raw the night before. So I was loaded. I wasn't ripping their material, but I was loaded. I was ready to go. No, it was a good time, actually. It was. I think I worked in, and mostly it was just about me. He was like ripping on me. But it was a good time, and I cannot thank Scott Long and the folks at Daymar Services for allowing me to do that, and all of you that I saw out there. It was fantastic. And I have a great deal of admiration for folks like Scott Long that do that. And then even more so for Scott Long, because Scott Long doesn't go the dirty or the blue route, if you will. There's not a lot of cussing going on in what he does. I'm just kind of that. That's kind of my wheelhouse, I guess. But he does that and comes up with an incredible original material that I'd be hard pressed to be able to do that for very long. It's hard enough to do that once. But I appreciate them, I should say, for asking. All right, Alex Golden setting the pace, top of the hour. Let's just say, for example, the Pacers end up with the 5th overall selection, the direction they should go, and the direction for the team. How much of a facelift will this team get coming up this offseason? That, and you guys have asked me, I've given you my opinion, the quickness of the turnaround. This team won 25 games last year. Will there be a quick turnaround, or might they be stuck in this for an extended period of time? Alex Golden coming up at the top of the hour. Revisit my thoughts on the Colts, at least the latest thoughts on the Colts in what is a veteran backup wide receiver that they bring in and a veteran backup quarterback they bring in. We'll hit that and more coming up with you next.
The Indiana Golden Glove Boxing Tournament is back, and we are giving away free tickets. Keep an eye out on our 1075 The Fan Facebook page for a comment to win social post every Wednesday.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
One of the things I love about betting my favorite sports is that I'm always finding new player props or game props that I like. Hey, it's Mark from Kevin and Query, and what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine prop bets from multiple games and now even multiple sports. It's called Same Game Parlay Plus, and you can only find it on FanDuel Sportsbook. Combine NBA player props you love with your favorite baseball home run hitters for a chance to score an even bigger payout. With the NBA playoffs in full swing, you can take a team on the money line and combine it with a player's over-under total points, then add an anytime home run hitter from your favorite baseball team for a bigger payout. If you don't want to build your own same-game parlay, check out their popular same-game parlay section where you can join bets other users are jumping on. And if you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code MARK to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Promo code MARK, M-A-R-C. Make every moment more and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app so they know I sent you.
21 and over and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is now a drawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, summer's right around the corner. Getting out of town, maybe? How about a road trip? Maybe a summer vacation with the family? One thing I never leave home without is my AAA membership. Flat tire, dead battery, I run out of gas, lock my keys in my car. I got AAA, baby. It's there for me. 24/7, 365 a year, no matter where your travels take you. Do you really want to worry about a dead battery in your rental car when you're on vacation? I do not. So if you're planning to hit the road this summer, do yourself a favor. Join AAA today. Simple. To get your AAA membership, visit AAA.com or call 844-GO-AAA-GO or stop by your local AAA office. And as always, tell them Daniel J. Dockett sent you. And don't forget to ask about complimentary travel planning and great insurance rates, whether it's auto, home, life, and so much more. Get AAA because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
Is Social Security playing too big a role in your financial future and plan? Get a financial plan and find out how Social Security can contribute to your own wealth planning approach. Call 833-PLAN-EFE right now to get a free Social Security and retirement review from Edelman Financial Engines. One of our experienced financial planners will partner with you to align your wealth strategy, personal goals, and cash flow to your future retirement income, including a look at how Social Security fits into your plan. Your planner will create a financial plan built specifically for you to help you reach your goals. The plan alone is an $800 value. You've worked hard to get where you are, but we believe you can go even further. Call 833-PLAN-EFE by Monday at 10 p.m. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. See how your wealth plan can be impacted by a comprehensive look at your financial life.
Hey, everybody. We've all heard stories from friends and family about something really bad that happened. You're in an accident. There's a painful, life-altering injury, huge medical bills, even wrongful death, all from someone else's fault. Some of you are dealing with that right now. That's where the attorneys at Parr Ritchie Law Firm can help. Tony Patterson, Paul Cruz, and John McLaughlin lead a team with over 70 years of collective courtroom experience and millions of dollars in jury awards and settlements for their clients. None of us can change the past. Just know that Tony, Paul, and John are on your side to help you and your family going forward. They're recognized by Super Lawyers and U.S. News and World Report, being among the leading injury lawyers in Indiana. Even if you're unsure you have a case, give Parr Ritchie a call. They'll listen and give you their free experienced legal opinion. Call 317-269-2509 or visit parrinjury.com. That's P-A-R-R, injury.com.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Imagine a life without the credit cards. Pay off your debt in 21 days or less with a simple cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
The Mower Shop in Fishers proudly offers Spartan mowers from compact to commercial, 42 to 72-inch size decks with power up to 38.5 horses. TheMowerShop.com, 317-849-9500.
The NTT IndyCar Series races at the GMR Grand Prix. Coverage begins next Saturday at 2 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Oh, happy Mother's Day weekend Friday to you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow, too. I know that interests a great deal of you. I've never been. Have you ever been to the Kentucky Derby? Have you had any interest in going to the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah, I'd like to. It'd be a cool bucket list item.
Never been. Never been. They get some star power down there, though. Everybody dresses up. See, I don't know if I could just roll in there in basketball shorts and a T-shirt, probably, could I?
I don't think they'd let you in.
I'd have to put something else on. Would I be the dude? There's always a dude, right, when it's a certain level of attire or dress-up situation that rolls with this time of year in the summertime, the shorts. With the shorts and, whatever ensemble you have to dress up, there's always like one dude that rolls up in shorts. I just don't think I could rock the basketball shorts in it. Kentucky Derby coming up tomorrow. Our good friend TJ Brammer, by the way, says, I remember when the dirty driving guys showed up at Sullivan's. That's a long time ago. It was wild at Sullivan's Steakhouse with the dirty drivers. We did, and I want to get back to doing that at some point. I think that John Stanley wants to as well. We have had a number of tremendous shows while at Sullivan's Steakhouse. Tremendous. There was one when they were doing the 500 World of Wheels, I think, out at the fairgrounds, and the Fonz, Henry Winkler, showed up and sat there for a good part of an hour and a half with me and Hagen. It was great. I mean, and Henry Winkler, he was iconic with his character in Happy Days, but he had a tremendous rebirth as well. And I was trying to think when that happened. Did that start with the Water Boy when he was with Sandler and the Water Boy, and then he just kind of kept getting roles? I think he's on an HBO show called Barry now, right? I have not seen that people tell me I do need to see. But he was awesome. Yeah, it goes all the way back to, I think the Dirty Driving guys are like 08. Joe English writes this, hey, JMV, trust me, your target audience is not on TikTok. It is a Generation Z thing. But, Joe, here's part of it, too. We're supposed to try to grow the audience as well. So I guess that's what I'm thinking, Joe. Well, I understand, like, a lot of the TikTok audience is my 12-year-old daughter, and I certainly am not trying to target that, but I would like to have some front-end growth, if you know what I mean. Don't laugh when I say that. JMV, the infield at the Kentucky Derby is your crowd. Basketball shorts may be dressed up in the Kentucky Derby infield. Is it much like the infield here? I don't know. I'm unaware. I don't know. I could rock in the Kentucky Derby infield. It would be weird to me, and I know there are a lot of support races around it. It would be weird to me to show up for something that is such a huge event and it be over in 3 minutes. Which, again, stop laughing. But it's such a huge event and it's done in 3 minutes.
I think people just get more excited to dress up. You have some of those, whatever. What's that drink called that they have down there?
The mint julep that just tastes like crap. You ever had that? It's pretty bad.
I don't want mint in my drink.
I'm going to go down there with my Larceny bourbon and kick that thing back. I wonder if Heaven Hill down there is a part of it. I wonder what bourbon they use. I know that it's got another sponsorship, I think, so I'm assuming probably not. Well, I'm rocking Heaven Hill Distillery. I'm rocking the Larceny bourbon bottle if I were to go there. I'm just not going. Yeah, Cove says Arrested Development for Winkler. Yeah, he got on there with Bateman and that crew, I think so. Yeah, 3 minutes, this huge event, and it's over. Done. All right, quick break and we'll come back. Let's just say, for example, the Pacers draft in the 5-hole. How would you like to see them go? We'll chat about that with Alex Golden, setting the pace, coming up on the other side. A lot of other Pacer offseason stuff as well. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Fed has raised rates, but it's not too late for you.
There's still time to put extra cash in your pocket with a cash out refinance from Golden Oak Lending.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak, and I urge you to call now. With home values at all-time highs and Golden Oak Lending's low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 317-706-GOLD today to get a free mortgage checkup and find out how much cash you can get. It's more than you think. Our average cash out customer saves $904 a month.
That's right. Plus, Golden Oak still has millions of dollars available, and you can skip 2 mortgage payments.
It's risk-free, and our local loan officers will get you qualified in minutes. We'll never ask for your credit card, and if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. Call 317-706-GOLD today. That's 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
The spirit of the game burns inside us. The pursuit of greatness fires us up. A never-ending flicker of light that guides us back home when we stray from the path. Fever Ignite is a rallying cry for the next era in the rich history of Fever basketball. A fresh start, a clean slate. You feel that, Indiana? The temperature is rising again. Fever Ignite.
The Fever home opener and Family Day is Sunday, May 8th at 3. A Family Day ticket gets a hot dog, chips, Pepsi, and Fever hat. Tickets at feverbasketball.com.
Oh, while we're in lawn and garden, I was thinking I should pick up one of those little things for watering my plants.
A hose?
No, the things that look like teapots, but for plants. You tip it over and it goes blah, 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 blah.
You're good at describing words you've forgotten.
Like those things that give the plants a shower, that you fill up.
A watering can?
Yes, a watering can. I knew that.
We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
O'Reilly.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the 3rd time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, John, for CarX, your 14 Central Indiana Joe Childress run locations. Joe staked out in Brownsburg to fulfill all your car, truck, or van needs, especially to maintain your spring road readiness. I mean, everything. Oil changes, fluid changes, tires, brakes, all that you need. They can do it. State-of-the-art to 14 Central Indiana locations. And the priority this time of year is to not only maintain that spring road readiness, but to prepare for the summer as well. So make sure the AC unit in your car, truck, or van is able and ready to go to do its job. 14 Central Indiana CarX locations. There is one near you. To find it, CarX.com today.
It's Terry Stacy, last-minute Mother's Day shoppers. For all the moms in your life, your best bet on finding the perfect gift is at Cynthia's Hallmark. 4 locations, helpful staff that's going to point you in the right direction depending on what your mom loves. Gardening? Cynthia's has some of the most beautiful solar garden stakes and solar blown glass wind chimes. A variety of art poles which bring beautiful artwork into any landscape. For the mom that loves to entertain, Cynthia's Hallmark still has a variety of the very popular charcuterie boards from Mud Pie, starting at just $24.99. For the moms that like a little pampering, I bet she would love lemon lavender silky satin pillowcases. Rave reviews, just $12.99. Cynthia's Hallmark carries brands you know: Yeti, Pandora, Ronaldo designer jewelry, Willow Tree, and Mother's Day favorites she'll love from Vera Bradley. Happy Mother's Day from locally owned Cynthia's Hallmark, 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
Skip the long lines and high costs at the banks and get pre-approved today for your next home purchase or a refinance at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB, WIBC HD3 W228CX, Indianapolis.
Monday, I'm Kevin and Query, taking a look back at the Kentucky Derby and NBA playoffs and anticipating the month of May in racing and the NFL schedule release. Fun begins at 7.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding? You think I'd join his crummy snobatorium? But his whole place sucks.
That's right, it sucks.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Last word tonight, 6:30. We may have time to do a little race trash, anything goes before that, too. Matt Taylor, Gorman, and the folks of the Last Word at 6:30. Trackside with Kevin and Kevin at 7P. Mike Thompson and Jake Query have Beyond the Bricks at 8. Then our good friend Bob Lovell and Indiana Sports Talk tonight at 9:30. Bob Lovell joined us a little bit earlier. Kevin Lee also dropped by. He was in studio. He was actually here picking up his packet for the mini coming up tomorrow. How many of you out there are going to go through and run that mini tomorrow? Shout out to you. I know that there are a variety of reasons as to why. Again, to me, running, especially distance running, is still, by me, viewed as a punishment. But go get you some coming up tomorrow, runners in the mini marathon. I'm going to have exactly what you need coming up tomorrow night. I've got the JMV Takeover, all request Saturday night party after all of you runners, men and women, young and old, take part in the mini marathon tomorrow. So you kick back at your place, maybe fire up the barbecue and crank up B105.7 in the all-request Saturday night party. And as Kyle knows, because Kyle helps me out producing stuff, we have got a what kind of outfit did Dennis Hopper have in Hoosiers? A wingdinger? I got a real wingdinger. I got a wingdinger for you tomorrow night. You guys are going to love it, I promise. Wingdinger. Tomorrow night, beginning at 6 p.m. over on B105.7. So if you're running in the mini tomorrow, or if you're just celebrating an extended, not a holiday weekend, but an extended weekend with your family because of Mother's Day, enjoy us. Enjoy us tomorrow night, just right next door on B105.7. All right, news of the day, Eric Hunter Jr. has emerged from the transfer portal, a member of the Butler Bulldogs. Trace Jackson Davis received an NBA Combine invite, which he was looking for. All right. He's going to go to the NBA Combine. What are the numbers, Kyle? Run the numbers on when a player goes up there. How often do they return to college compared to staying in the NBA draft?
So the NIL changes this a little bit.
Yeah.
So 2020, before NIL, if you went to the Combine, invited to the Combine, 92.3% chance you stayed in the draft. After NIL was passed last year, 88.4%. If you invited to the Combine, you're staying in the draft.
So it is still highly probable that with those numbers you're talking about, that Trace stays. Correct?
Stays in the draft.
Yeah, stays in the draft. Those are the numbers we shall see. And I've said this before, at least from what I've been told, that if he went in round 2 to an already established team where he can grow his game and see a great deal of positive influence / success, that he would certainly be looking for that. We'll see. We shall see. Colts conversation a little bit earlier as well regarding backup quarterback, regarding another veteran wide receiver. I changed my tune a little bit today for good reason. And a kicking competition to come this summer. Jump back to that in a second. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline from Setting the Pace, a little NBA, a little Pacer conversation with Alex Golden on this Mother's Day weekend Friday. Alex, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great, John. How are you doing?
Fantastic. So you got an episode with Agnes tonight. Is that what I heard?
That is correct. Yeah, Scott's coming on, going to talk about the direction of the team and what he's heard, so I think that'll be a good one. Scott's pretty in tune with what's going on, so I'll be excited to chat with him about that.
All right, let's just say, for example, the draft lottery is coming up here in the next week and a half or so. So, for example, the Pacers drafted number 5. At number 5, if they go there, who should they take? And I'll give you my thought. I don't know if you've heard it this week. If it's outside of Ivy, Smith, or Banchero, I'm Keegan Murray. That is me. And I think you've known that already, but if they get up and have an opportunity to go big, I would go big with those particular 3. Just not anybody else. I would go Keegan Murray. What about you?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think Keegan Murray's the safe pick for sure because he's shown what he can do in college, obviously put up some big numbers. I think he's probably one of the safest picks in this draft. I really do like his overall game, but I wonder how much better he'll get as a prospect and as a player in the NBA. Now, I've seen some comparisons to him as like an Al Horford type, and I think if you look at Al Horford's career, like, that's a really good player to put into your team. So, like, by me saying that, I'm not trying to, like, say he's a bad player, but I wonder what his feeling is when there's also some guys there that I'm a little bit intrigued by. The one guy that's the most intriguing to me is Shaedon Sharpe. I heard you yesterday talking with Kevin and Query about, why you like Keegan Murray, and I know KB brought up the whole Kentucky guards thing, and I know you threw kind of back like, well, what team they got drafted to. But even besides that, I still think that Calipari has a really good eye for talent, and he was going to go out there and get the best talent, and there's a reason why they really wanted Sharpe to come back. And, I mean, I'm just saying, looking even at a guy like De'Aaron Fox who went to the Kings, he's done pretty well, especially for Sacramento. So I think that I'm a little bit more intrigued by Sharpe than Keegan Murray if I'm the Pacers and I have pick 5. But I understand why you do go Keegan Murray there. One, if you miss on this draft pick, that's a big swing there for the Pacers and somewhere they haven't been at in a very long time. So they definitely need to hit on this pick. And secondly, I think if you look at their roster position-wise, I do think that Murray fits a position they need more than a Shaedon Sharpe.
So Alex Golden setting the pace on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and I guess I view him not as just safe, but I view him as, to me, a guy that can turn it around and be an asset, sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what also is necessary here. To me, you can't be dealing with somebody that is projected out to be a longer-term project here. And, where, maybe you got a higher ceiling, for example, like a Chet Holmgren, which is great. I just don't know if the fan base is going to wait around here long enough for, the fruits of their particular labor to be shown here with somebody like that. And I think Keegan Murray can give them a lot of what is necessary and what they need right here and right now.
No, you're 100% right, and I think this is where the Pacers will really tell the fan base what direction they're going based on the moves they make in the offseason. If they keep Brogdon and Turner, then they're trying to win to a certain degree now. If they trade them and try to get draft picks or younger assets, then you say, okay, this team is embracing a couple-year rebuild. Even though Rick Carlisle's here, they realize the importance of what this rebuild could mean for the franchise, and taking a few steps back to take more steps forward could be the right idea here. But at the same time, you really have to just consider what the owner wants and what the fan base does. Because, look, if the fan base is all behind the Pacers, in a sense, tanking for the next year or so, and one more year maybe of tanking to get another high draft pick in next year's loaded draft class, I don't think it's the worst thing. I think it'd be kind of silly to put all your chips in this year to try to become a play-in team. I don't think it's the worst idea to go out and take a risk on a draft pick this year. But at the same time, like you said, it depends on what ownership wants. And if they really want to win right now and they want to plug-and-play guy in right away, similar to what they thought they were getting with Chris Duarte and they got from Duarte, then I think Keegan Murray definitely is that player. And I do think Keegan Murray is really good. That's the thing. Like, it's not just a guy that you're getting as a rookie, like, oh, he's proven he can play right away. No, I mean, I definitely think he's an asset that you can use for multiple years to come. Like, I think he'd be really good. So I just feel like the Pacers have to make that decision in free agency and in the offseason with their trades to at least let the fan base know what direction they're heading, because at this point, it still feels like they're in the middle of sort of rebuilding, but also sort of trying to be competitive to a certain degree.
All right, so what's going to play around here? I mean, obviously the success as an end result is what's going to play. But decision-wise or path-wise, what do you think is going to play around here with the fan base compared to a group that will show up for games, and be, focus in on games, whether they're there or watching it, or will completely disconnect, as we did see down the stretch of this season that was a 25-win season?
Yeah, I really think, first of all, if you get a draft pick in here that's exciting and the fan base is all on board for, I think most of the fan base is on board for Jaden Ivey, obviously Boncaro, Jabari, all those guys. I mean, I think they're on board for that. So if the Pacers were able to acquire one of those guys in the draft, then I think they could sell, that is ownership and the front office, hey, look, we got some really cool draft picks that we just got. We've got Tyrese Halliburton. We've got Isaiah Jackson, Chris Duarte. Come out and support this young team because this is the future. They could go that way. Or I think what would really set the fan base back is if Malcolm Brogdon is in a Pacers uniform next year. There are some people that still like him, but I think a lot of people have just kind of felt like it's run its course. They're ready to move on. There are a ton of people that feel that same way about Miles Turner, but I think it'd be kind of hard to move on from Turner right now unless you get something back that makes a lot of sense because he still is he's young enough right now, not too much older than Chris Duarte, to, be a part of this young rebuild. So I don't have a problem if they want to keep him, but, Buddy Hield, obviously, he should go back to the bench if they want to keep him and they don't trade him. But I really think what's going to set the fan base back is if Malcolm Brogdon is a starter next season because obviously, the Pacers are limited to what they can do anyways with this roster. But with Brogdon just kind of being a little bit older, not wanting to take away from what Halliburton could do in his development, I think there's a lot of concerns there with fans when it comes to how Brogdon fits in with this team long term.
All right. Well, you mentioned that. Just how robust do you believe the option is to be out there if they do indeed like to part ways with Malcolm Brogdon for what you just talked about? What type of interest do you think they're going to find this offseason?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that would be interested in Malcolm Brogdon. I think Pacer fans are down on him because, one, he's injury prone, and two, he's been deemed the leader of the team, but it's not been such great leadership to me anyway. So I feel like the guy that feels like the leader the most on this team is TJ McConnell, and he's your backup point guard. Well, that's great and all. I don't think you need your backup point guard being your team leader. So for me personally, I just feel like Brogdon is a guy that's better off the ball. I don't think he's a true point guard. He can't really guard point guards in this league. He's a little bit too slow for that. I think he's better at guarding twos and threes. So if he can get dealt to a team where he can play a little bit more off ball like he did in Milwaukee, I think that's going to benefit him and his career long term. It might not be what he wants, but with him getting that extension, there are some pros and cons to it. Me and my co-host have argued that it's a good and a bad thing. I've been more it will help his trade value, where he's been more it'll hurt his trade value. And then I believe it was Michael Scotto from Hoops Hype said that there's been different executives that have said the same thing. They both have felt the same way. There's different ones that have felt that way. So I feel like at least half the teams in the league you can make some logical sense for a Brogdon trade. It all just depends on what the Pacers want back in return for Malcolm Brogdon. But I still think there's going to be a lot of suitors out there because he's a good basketball player. And if he's healthy for the playoffs, which, who knows if that's something we can bank on, but if he's at least healthy for the playoffs, that's what you're really looking for him for, not the regular season.
It just, and I may disagree with you a little bit here. It just seems like if you start at the top of the list with health concerns for a guy like that, it seems like that'd be the reason, the first and best reason why teams would disconnect with any interest whatsoever to start with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely concerns with it for sure, but I think he's played close to like 60 games out of the last 60 games over the last couple of seasons. So it's like or 60%. I forget what it is exactly, but he's played more than he hasn't. That's a thing. But I just feel like he doesn't have the wear and tear on him. He's just had a lot of random injuries. It's not been like the same injury over and over. It's been a lot of different ones. So I've also heard that he's a guy that will not play unless he's 100%. So there's times where he could have been 95%, pretty much could have played on it, but decided to wait and take a week or two off to rest it. So obviously we know that the NBA has changed a lot in terms of how they allow players to rest and heal from injuries. And some guys like Sabonis, we know this, he played at 70%. So I think that's kind of what you have to know when you do acquire Brogdon. Like, hey, he probably could play in the playoffs, but he's not going to play in the regular season. Let's see if this is something that is smart for us to do, because if he goes to like a really good team that already has enough players where he's more of a complementary piece than a reliable piece, I think that could be where his value goes up, because teams won't have to rely on him to be healthy like the Pacers. Pretty much needed him to be healthy for them to be semi-good, because he was arguably their best perimeter defender and their best guard before they got Halliburton. And I think there's still a case he could be better than Halliburton is right now. So that's all up for debate. But I think that he needs to go to a team where he's not as relied upon, and that would benefit him and I think his value.
From Setting the Pace, Alex Golden is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So honestly, once we get past this draft lottery and then get into June, and we kind of hard target exactly what the Pacers might be looking for, how much of a facelift this summer do you expect to see regarding this team from Kevin Pritchett and company?
Yeah, that's a great question. If I'm guessing, I would assume there's a couple of trades made. I'm not sure who's all dealt, but they do have that cap space, which I think is going to be very important to see what they do with that. Could they bring T.J. Warren back on a short-term deal? Would that be something they're interested in? Are they interested in, moving Buddy Hield? Are they interested in moving T.J. McConnell? Are they interested in moving Miles Turner? I think these are all important questions because we know that they have to decide if they want that extension with Miles Turner to get done this offseason. It's going to be very important to do that because if he hits the open market, I would be surprised if he re-signed here, but I think there's going to be a lot of suitors for him if he doesn't get extended. But clearly this year's free agency class is not very good. So I think what you could see is the Pacers basically do a lopsided trade. Maybe they bring back some more money in a deal or something like that. But I'm not really sure exactly what direction they're going. But I would say the most likely to get traded is Brogdon, and after that, a lot of people would say Turner, but I would say probably Buddy Hield after that just because of how much money he has on his contract.
So Alex Golden via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So this is, it may have nothing to do with it. And I know they're down 0-2 right now, so maybe it's not the best question to ask. But what light do we see Rick Carlisle beneath right now with the season where he took over his first here back with the Pacers and a 25-win season, and then watch his old team Dallas get to the postseason and then win their first-round matchup with Utah in this particular postseason? How do we view that? Is there any negative there at all, or is that just coincidental, I guess?
I mean, it's probably a little bit of both. I think, honestly, Utah was just a terrible team, I think you could say, for the playoffs. They clearly wanted to kind of be done, and the fact that the Mavericks were able to win without Luka Doncic for 2 of the 3 games, I think it speaks more to how bad Utah was unraveling than it was actually how good Dallas is. But I just think that Rick Carlisle maybe grew a little bit. The guys got tired of Rick Carlisle a little bit in Dallas. He'd been there for a very long time. Been hanging on the threads of that championship run they had in 2011. So, he's a good coach, don't get me wrong, but I think what Jason Kidd's done there has been great. Everybody was kind of dogging Jason Kidd when he got hired there, but I think he's been really good for them. And I kind of like the moves that they made and bringing in a guy like Reggie Bullock, obviously re-signing DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then we've seen growth from Jalen Brunson as well as a player this year, obviously. It's been a little bit tougher for him going up against the powerhouse in Phoenix, but he did really great in that first round. And actually, I don't know if you know this or not, but he was the leading scorer in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Jalen Brunson was. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's just kind of interesting to look at everything in totality. But overall, I think Carlisle leaving was good for them. I think it was good for Carlisle. And quite frankly, I think Carlisle was a huge part of why this team, this Indiana Pacers team, did go into a little bit of a rebuild mode. I think he saw the writing on the wall and was able to, help Kevin Pritchard, present this whole entire situation to Herb Simon and say, hey, look, we might want to pivot from our normality of always trying to be as competitive as possible and take a few steps back and lose some games here and get some younger talent to try to rebuild this franchise back and put it in the direction it needs to go. Because if they don't trade Sabonis and they stay pat, I mean, talk about how frustrated this fan base would be if they didn't make any moves by the deadline.
Yeah, and that's really the only reason in a 25-win season you had fans hanging around is because of the new and freshness and this direction that they haven't seen. Alex Golden joins us. It's also interesting that that Dallas team seems like that once the thumb of offensive decision making came off of them from their head coach, they took off and ran with it, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen here. You know what I mean? I know that you want him to coach up this group, but I also you don't want to see them tied to something all the time. You know what I mean? And it's almost like that's what you saw in Dallas this year, and especially down the stretch. It looked like that they were released or unleashed, if you will, and hopefully you don't have to, or we're not revisiting this conversation at some point over the short term with Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, the last thing you really want him to do is kind of hold players back. But I think from what we saw from the last third of the season, once we got Halliburton and Hield, it felt like he let them be a little bit more free with how they were playing. I know that Buddy Hield was very, outspoken about that, being able to be more of a playmaker, being able to just kind of no play calls, just run the offense, that kind of thing. I don't know if it was more so him just allowing them to do that because they were trying to lose games or what the whole thing was, but the best thing that can happen is for him and Halliburton to have a great relationship, because the last thing you want is for him to butt heads with Halliburton, the young franchise star of the team, and eventually it causes Halliburton to pull the Oladipo Paul George and want to be out of here. So I think that he's going to have to figure out that common ground with everybody. I think he's doing a better job at that, and you would hope that what happened in Dallas and that story that came out from ESPN from Tim McMahon about everything, Dorian Finney-Smith, not Dorian Finney-Smith, whoever they drafted, I forget now, Dennis Smith Jr., that's what it was, wasn't a big fan of him. So I really think that he's just going to have to continue to work on that relationship part of it. And I think things are a little bit different here in Indiana than they were in Dallas. The East is very competitive, and this team has a lot of room to grow. So I don't think expectations are as high for him right now. But at the same time, you just have to hope that he continues to develop that relationship with these young players. And he's not been a coach that has usually relied on younger players. That's kind of had to earn the minutes, and now he's having to shift from that. I'm hoping that this is a new direction he heads with this young Pacers team.
Do you at all hope, and it's probably going to work out this way anyway, but do you at all hope that Chet Holmgren is already gone by the time the Pacers select, so they don't have to wrestle with that question of this guy's got, this incredible ceiling, but how long is it going to take for him to reach that particular ceiling of productivity? Do you hope that he's gone, or is there part of you hoping that he's here because he might be somebody that is, certainly a gem, an unpolished gem that could work out really good for your organization long term?
Yeah, no, I would be scared to death if he's on the board when they go to pick, just to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest Chet Holmgren fan. We did our top 10 Pacers-centric big board, and I didn't even have him in my top 10. Not to discredit him, I just don't think he makes a lot of sense for what this franchise is trying to do, especially if they keep Miles Turner. I hate that fit with them together. It just doesn't feel like it'd be great. And I'll just say this, and this is not trying to be, crazy or anything like that, but every time you think of a tall white guy being drafted in Indiana, it hasn't worked out over the past 12 to 13 years, right? Tyler Hansborough, TJ Leaf, Miles Plumlee. I think there's just that worry in the back of Pacer fans' heads, like, okay, we don't want a tall, large, athletic white guy. It just hasn't worked out before, so let's not go down that path again. So I think fans are kind of afraid of that whole narrative playing out again, and I can't blame them, but I definitely think there are at least 5 to 6 really good power forwards in this draft that I like a whole lot. And if they don't want to go with an upside guard like an Ivy or a Sharp, then I definitely think looking at power forward would be a really smart decision. So, sorry, long-winded answer. I'm out on Chet for the Pacers, but I think he's a good player.
I will tell you this. I think that his potential is certainly, to me, a reasonable thought, because to me he's different. He's different than what you saw in TJ Leaf or in the guys you're talking about. Miles Plumlee, he's different when it comes to Goga, I think. It just, to me, more so than anything else, it is how long will it take for him to get there. It took Rick Smits a while to get there. Once you got there, it was fantastic. There's no doubt you reap the benefits. I just don't think they have that much time on the clock to wait out how much time it will take him to be that productive producer.
No, and that's a great point. And I think the other part that you have to look at, fans will not be patient with him. I think based on what I've seen on Twitter, it's probably majority do not want Chet on the Pacers. I'll just be honest with you. There's a handful that really like the idea of it, but there's a majority that do not. And so I think if he were to come out and have a rough first rookie season, fans would be like, we just wasted our pick. What are we doing? Like, this is a terrible idea. So I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on the front office as well if they were to draft a guy like Chet, because he's going to have to hit instantly, in my opinion, for fans to really accept it. And so there's that too. So he's definitely a project. He's the most unknown player to me besides Shaedon Sharpe in this draft. And from what we've seen from college, I think the biggest example was the Jalen Duren game, like when Memphis played Gonzaga, and it just didn't feel like Chet did particularly well with that kind of size. And we know that size is in the NBA, so you have to wonder, is he going to be like a tweener guy that doesn't really fit? So I think he's going to have to figure it out. There are teams that I think he does make a lot of sense on, but the Pacers are not one of them.
Let me tell you this, though. And I, having watched him for his freshman year, I can see why people like him a great deal. The buck 95 is tough to get around because he does, and he did. Every team that played them just was ultra physical with him, and that's exactly what's going to happen times 90 once you get to the next level. But let me say, for those teams that do pass on him, if this guy turns out to be what those at the highest level think he can be, that is going to be that is going to be a larger, I guess I should say, lack of check mark next to those that are putting together a team. And there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to be in this situation if he does end up being what a lot of people predict him to be, if you know what I mean. That's going to be, to me, equal to, selecting him and then having to bail out on him because he's not what you thought he was going to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely super, super high risk, super, high risk, high reward kind of guy for sure. So, yeah, I mean, if you pass on any guy like that, especially a guy that I think ESPN's had ranked number one for a very long time, like, I definitely trust their scouting judgment. But at the same time, I just worry about, the overall fit with what the Pacers are trying to do for me. But, yeah, you're right. I definitely think there's a lot of teams that could be like, okay, we can't pass on this guy. I mean, everybody talks about his upside. We'd be dumb. We're in the lottery. But to pass him up for someone that doesn't have near the ceiling that he has and what he can reach. I mean, that's kind of why you see guys maybe kind of flail out that get drafted early, because you're just hoping that potential hits and you would hate to miss on it.
I do. I hope he nails it, though. I do. Just to thumb the nose at the folks that, I guess like me, my thing is not believing in him. My thing is it's just going to take a while, and I just don't think folks around here are going to be that patient to wait on that particular project to come to fruition around here with the way that they view this Pacer team. All right, before I let you go, give me where you think they're going to end up in the lottery. I mean, these are all darts at a dartboard here, and who you like above all else if they were drafting today upon where you think they're going to end up in the lottery.
That's a great question. I'm just going to be optimistic and say they get the third pick in the draft. I'm trying to keep positive vibes. I don't want to see them fall back. When I've been doing the tankathon thing, they've been jumping up almost every time I do it. So maybe I'm getting a little too optimistic. But I think Paolo Banchero, if he's there, there's a potential that he could be there at 3. I've seen a lot of mock drafts have him at 2 or 3 with Chet and Jabari Smith going first and second. So if he's there at 3, I mean, I'm really enticed by him just because of his size, 250 pounds. Being a playmaking big man that he is, obviously defensively, he's got some improvements to make. I don't think he's necessarily as bad as everybody makes him out to be, but when you're starting to nitpick these guys that you've seen for over a year plus, you're really going to do that. So I will just say this about Banchero. We're going to be doing a podcast about him and Jabari. We have a Draft Duels podcast that we started, this little series where we're looking at 2 prospects. I don't know if you know this or not, John, but in the postseason, he was actually a really good three-point shooter. He shot 52.6% from 3 in 19 shots over 5 games. So, I mean, I think that there's definitely potential there for his outside shot. He's already got the low post shot and the mid-range. I love everything about his game. And to me, he's number one on my board. But
Banchero's who you're talking about? Bancaro, right?
Yeah,
See, me too.
Yeah,
I think if
Banchero.
there's somebody that is ready-made to be very high level upon entering the NBA in his rookie season, that would be the person. Now, in closing here, we haven't talked about Mathurin out of Arizona. Would you have him higher than you would both Keegan Murray and Johnny Davis, and maybe even throw in A.J. Griffin in that, or would you have him lower than those three particular players?
Yeah, I actually have him higher on my Pacer-centric big board. I had him at number 5 for me.
So you like him better than Keegan Murray?
I do. I do like him better overall. I just think potential-wise, he has more potential. I think Keegan Murray, it's so funny. I have Keegan Murray actually 7th on my big board. I have Terry Eason ahead of him as well, too. And I said, I probably just sound like an idiot by what I'm saying here because I'm a little bit lower on Murray because I don't know what his ceiling is. But I definitely like Mathurin's story, where he came from. I don't know if you've read anything about him or heard anything about him, but Seth Davis did a great piece on him in The Athletic, was in Canada, lived in Quebec, lived in a fatherless home. His brother passed away. His older sister raised him. Ended up moving to Mexico to play in the NBA Academy at the age of 16 after losing his brother, and his sister moved away to college. So I really think his story is fascinating, and he's kind of been humbled a little bit because he was a little bit arrogant in Canada and then didn't work out at the private school he was at. So just his story of how he's developed into the player that he is, to even get a scholarship. I think his first scholarship came from Baylor, but he actually turned it down to go to Arizona. Dealt great with that coaching change there from Sean Miller to their new coach from Gonzaga, the assistant at Gonzaga, I forget his name, but just the way that he carried that team.
Tommy Lloyd, by the way. Yeah.
Tommy Lloyd, thank you. And he led them in so many statistical, he was just so good statistically out there. And I really feel like his potential and his hunger, he reminds me a lot of Oladipo. And I think Oladipo is really good here. Obviously, we don't like the way it ended and the way the injuries all happened, but if you can get, rookie Oladipo for the next 5 to 6 years with Mathurin, and watch him grow in that player, I think him and Halliburton could be really fun together.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm Keegan Murray all the way in here. If they drafted 5, but if they go top 3, one of those first 3, and obviously Banchero, I think is the jewel of that for sure. All right, setting the pace later on tonight. You've got Scott Agnes with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I appreciate you, man. We'll do it again soon. Thanks, Alex.
Absolutely, John. Thank you.
Alex Golden setting the pace on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And we can play off of some of that if you like at 239-1070. Maybe some Rays trash, anything goes before we get out of here as well. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pine Grove Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now. 317-552-1111.
Is Social Security playing too big a role in your financial future and plan? Get a financial plan and find out how Social Security can contribute to your own wealth planning approach. Call 833-PLAN-EFE right now to get a free Social Security and retirement review from Edelman Financial Engines. One of our experienced financial planners will partner with you to align your wealth strategy, personal goals, and cash flow to your future retirement income, including a look at how Social Security fits into your plan. Your planner will create a financial plan built specifically for you to help you reach your goals. The plan alone is an $800 value. You've worked hard to get where you are, but we believe you can go even further. Call 833-PLAN-EFE by Monday at 10 p.m. That's 833-PLAN-EFE. Or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. See how your wealth plan can be impacted by a comprehensive look at your financial life.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Hey, it's Johnny for Forum Credit Union, and the Double Shot Challenge for the month of May. So here's how this goes. You will be rewarded while growing your savings. Forum Credit Union makes it easy to save and reach these goals in the month of May. It's this challenge they're doing, too. So you take the money that you would normally spend, right, with your favorite morning drink, deposit that into your Forum Challenge account. After 12 months of savings, members who have made regular deposits are going to be entered to win $1,378. That is the Double Shot Challenge with Forum Credit Union. Stop by a branch location today. Find out more. The information right now, forumcu.com.
My mom's the bomb. Her hugs are so good, there's a wait list. Her laughter is the life of the party. Her smile makes everyone smile. Everything worth knowing, I learned from her. That's why this Mother's Day, I'm heading to Hellsberg Diamonds. They have beautiful diamond pendants, gemstone rings, and more. Hellsberg makes it easy to find a gift she'll love. One that hopefully she'll pass down to me one day, along with her secret to perfect hugs. Save big on mom-worthy gifts at a Hellsberg store near you or at hellsberg.com. Hurry, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th.
The Fed has raised rates.
But there's still time to put extra cash in your pocket with a cash-out refinance from Golden Oak Lending.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With home values at all-time highs and our low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 317-706-GOLD today, while Golden Oak still has millions of dollars available.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. Mother's Day weekend is here. Don't forget all that Sundown Gardens has to offer. Great items in Miss Mary's gift shop, gift certificates, and the famous Sundown Gardens Mother's Day hanging basket sale. 20% off all hanging baskets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday through Sunday, Sundown has also got a rosebush sale starting at $25. Rose bushes make a nice Mother's Day gift, and it's a gift that gives year after year. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, or sundown.gardens.com.
Terry Stacy here with your American Standard Race Day weather, brought to you by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville. Sunday, the boys from NASCAR head to Darlington, South Carolina to win at the track Too Tough to Tame. Perfect racing weather at the Green Flag, partly sunny and 72. And Formula One debuts in Miami on Sunday. Scattered showers expected in South Florida. This has been the American Standard Race Day weather forecast, brought to you by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The Ride with JMV.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let's do some calls coming up here. Actually, we got a little bit of time here, maybe a little bit of time before the top of the hour. Race trash. Anything goes. Timeline not looking so good. Is that what you're saying over there? Not a lot of time. We'll play that one by ear before the top of the hour. Alex Golden setting the pace, talking about the potential draft selections at least through 5 where they stand right now with the Pacers, and that certainly expectedly will change coming up in the NBA draft lottery. But we went over that, some of the offseason changes we can expect and more. I am on the Keegan Murray train. If the top 3 are not there. And the top 3 to me. The top 3 to me would be Ivy Smith, and Banchero, and I go Banchero first. Did I just play something that people want to? Oh, really? All right, 239-1070. My bad. Let's get to the calls. Paul's on line 4. Hello, Paul. How are you?
JMV, how are you?
Great. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah?
What would you be willing right now to invest in a futures ticket on the Colts? Would you go up to $100 on that at 25-1?
Probably not. And it's not, yeah. I mean, within the AFC South to win that, I'd probably factor that in as doable. But within the AFC, I think the AFC overall is going to be very problematic for not just the Colts, but for a lot of teams.
I think you're probably right. I just wanted to hear what you had to say, my man. Thank you.
Paul, thank you very much. Chris, 239-1070. You're on board here. How are you?
Hey, John. I just wanted to ask you about the NBA draft. And,
yep.
And when are we ever going to hold Kevin Pritchard to a standard that he can't miss? I mean, you've already picked Miles Turner over Devin Booker. Like, you picked Duarte over Moses Moody. Like, when does it matter? Like, if he misses, our franchise is set back for a long, long time. Like, he can't miss. He gets paid to do what he does, so he can't miss. We can assume who we want to pick and all that, but he can't miss. Am I not right?
Well, you absolutely are right, and most people would suggest, at least here in the short term, that they like Duarte a great deal and like that pick. But no, you're right. I mean, you cannot whiff on this, whether you're at 5 or wherever you're going to be. You have to have somebody, and that's why I'm against a longer-term project, and that's why I think you have to pick somebody that shows you productive results sooner rather than later. That's why I'm sold on a Keegan Murray or, at the top of the list, Paolo Banchero, because I think they can get you nearly immediate fitting in results, whereas I don't think you can go with a longer-term project.
Are those guys immediate starters?
I don't know how things would look after I think expected facelift in the summertime with this Pacer team, but are they capable, I think, of starting in the NBA? Yes, both are. So Banchero especially.
For sure. Why? But, like, for example, he hit a huge miss when he doesn't pick Devin Booker and chooses Miles Turner. Am I not right there?
Was that Bird? I think Bird. That was more of a Bird Miles Turner thing. And let's be honest about this for a second. I think everybody liked early Miles. Nobody likes Miles right now compared to Devin Booker, and that's for good reason. Devin Booker came off the bench at Kentucky. I think there was their sixth man. Now, when you look at it now, it doesn't look good, but in the first couple of years, I think people felt pretty good about it. But, yeah, longer term, and just with the success he's had in Phoenix, with the success they've had and he's had, that's always going to be your answer now. And you're always going to be held accountable to that.
But if you pick Booker for sure when they should have over Turner, hindsight 2020, Paul George is here, and we're probably a pretty damn good team. But Kevin Pritchard has been allowed to miss and miss and miss continually, and nothing happens of it.
Well, he has whiffed more times than not. There's no doubt, and this is going to be the tale of the tape this year. There's no question.
All right, have a good weekend, man.
You too. Thank you for the call. That was a Bird one, was it? Was Bird running things still then? I think when Miles got here. There are like 90 different ways you can look at it. And it's like with the Colts draft that we've been talking about. We may look at this further down the road and really love it and think that Ballard is indeed genius, or maybe not so much about it. And the same can be said for that particular draft regarding Devin Booker. And I don't think that drafting Devin Booker, Paul George was not going to stay here. Paul George did not, no matter what he wants to say, Paul George ended up exactly where Paul George wanted to go. But the accountability holding, this is it here. This is it. And he's right. Chris was right. Most guys that had that type of track record, even though you're looking at, well, it's really tough to, make selections in the NBA draft in the teens when you're good but not good enough, when you're good but you're not bad enough. That's that consistent treadmill this franchise has been on. But he's got some serious whiffs here. And you got some serious whiffs. I've talked about Brandon Clark. Maybe Brandon Clark would not have fit in here, but Brandon Clark fits in really well out of Gonzaga with Memphis. That was somebody I'd talked about years ago. But, yeah, this is it. Yeah, the accountability will definitely start here. Mike's at 239-1070. Mike, jump on here.
Hey, John.
Hello, Mike.
So we're probably about to lose every listener whose last name is not Lovell or Rakestraw.
Okay, great. Great.
I was going to talk a little high school track and field with you because I know it's kind of new to you.
It is. It's very lengthy. These things are lengthy.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've talked a few times. My son's a Division I runner. In fact, I'm headed up to Detroit tonight for the Horizon League championships up in Oakland, which is up in Rochester, just north of there. But my son's a Division I runner. My daughter runs as a freshman, a middle distance runner at Ball State. But that said, so I'm kind of curious what your impression is. So I've been to high school track meets probably, 200 of them. It's a little different so most track meets as opposed to cross country is just a male meet or a female meet. Most of them aren't both genders. The exception are usually county meets, city meets, stuff like that. And I'm just kind of curious how you're enjoying the sport because they are. I know you were actually
I will tell you this. I do have to hit a break, Mike. But yeah. And thank you for the call. Have a great weekend and enjoy it. I do enjoy it because I enjoy and support anything my kids do and want to do. And it's been a learning experience because I've never been to a track meet in my life until a month and a half ago. And he's a distance runner, thus it takes forever to get to his event, meaning it's pretty late. But I will support anything that he does. And I will tell you this, at Ron Colley, for example, Coach Buckley has been such an incredible influence on him. And this is what I love about sports. And this is what I love about his experience of doing track and field at Ron Colley. I have seen a maturity change in him over the past 3 months, 4 months, in fact, because they were running and training, back in the wintertime before they ever got started. And I give all that up. I give all that up to the coaches, and certainly Coach Buckley has been just an incredible influence on him. I mean, I see a spark. I see a focus on a variety of things because of this. And that's what I'm going for. I tell my kids this all the time, and this doesn't make me better. This doesn't mean this should be the rule. But I tell them, one of these days, you'll want to be a part of something, and you'll want to look back, and you'll want to say, man, I'm glad I was a part of that. And I think that's kind of what Blake has cobbled together with this influence of track and Coach Buckley, and now he's going to run cross country. I think that's great. And that's all I tell Laney the same thing in basketball. One of these days, you want to look back and you'll want to be a part of something. I'm not expecting anybody to do anything higher than what they're doing right now. But one of these days, I want you to look back and I want you to say, man, I'm glad you wanted me to do that. I'm glad you supported me in doing that because that was a really cool experience. I had fun doing it. I enjoyed doing it. Win, lose, or draw. I had a lot of friends doing it too. That's exactly how I view it when I grew up. I view it more from a friends and great time standpoint than I ever think about winning or losing. Certainly winning or losing comes up in the conversation, but I don't care. It is the enjoyment that you have the growth that you have, the maturity that you have. Man, I've seen that in the past 4+ months from Blake, and I cannot thank the folks over there enough. It has been fantastic. So that's basically, in a long-winded explanation, what I think about track and field. I love it because it has been a great fit for my kid. And it's been a great fit because of the coaching staff and especially Coach Buckley over there. It's been great. Been great. Now, it was probably never going to be for me, but it doesn't have to be for me because I'm 52 years old. This is like one of the best decisions we ever made right there was that. Just want to be a part of something, and he certainly is. Thank you for that call, too. Quick break, and we'll come back. We'll get ready to close out the show. Maybe Race Trash, anything goes, maybe not. But we do have Trackside. We do have Beyond the Bricks coming up after the last word at 6:30. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
On Wednesday, May 4th, the 500 Festival Kickoff to May kicks off on Monument Circle and starts the countdown to the Indy 500. Head to 1075thefan.com/events for all the details.
Imagine a life without the credit cards. A life where you don't have to worry about when you get paid next. Now imagine not stressing about getting through the month, having real cash in the bank, and being able to take your family on that much-needed dream vacation. Home values are at an all-time high, and our average client received over $54,000 at closing. Pay off your debt in 21 days or less and apply for your simple cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
This Mother's Day, remember Mom with a gift from Sullivan Hardware and Garden or Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers. Hey, Pat Sullivan here with gift ideas to make Mother's Day memorable. How about a wide selection of hanging baskets, bedding plants, perennials, and much more? With so many colors and varieties, it's the best-looking selection you'll find anywhere. And just in time for Mother's Day, 30% off all premium patio furniture like all-weather wicker, Berlin Gardens poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more. We specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock in our 37,000 square foot warehouse. And wouldn't Mom just love a new Traeger or Weber grill? How about a big green egg? We'll even assemble Mom's grill and fill the propane tank, all for free. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's.
Wow, I've got a whole 5 minutes before my next call. What should I do? Grab a snack? Nah. Text with Mom? That's more than a 5-minute proposition. I have been looking at getting a new bank account. Is that even possible?
Can't believe you have extra time? You won't believe what you can do with it. Open a Regions checking account online in as little as 5 minutes. Then enjoy award-winning service and banking tools and tech that help you live in the moment. Learn more at regions.com/live in the moment. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Hey, Johnny for LD Smith Plumbing, 83 or free. Where Lance and his local team, they come out and make sure your main drain is clog free, thus no sewage backing up in your home. And they'll do this for $83 or the visit is free. 317-284-9526. Ask for 83 or free from Lance and LD Smith Plumbing. All of your plumbing needs and especially emergencies. 317-284-9526 online. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th, and there are so many reasons to give a gift of fine jewelry from Shane Company.
Dear Mom, what can I say? You're amazing. From being team mom at my Little League games to putting up with me when I was a wild teenager, you've taught me so much, and I'm forever grateful. Happy Mother's Day.
A gift of fine jewelry is truly special. It's something Mom will treasure forever. Shane Company has gifts in every price range, crafted with attention and care. Stunning diamond jewelry, classic styles with sapphires, beautiful cultured pearls. Get her something stylish and colorful, like huggy earrings with vibrant gemstones. Available in either London blue topaz, red garnet, or amethyst. Or surprise her with an exquisite butterfly necklace. The wings are accented with blue sapphires. Visit us for a meaningful Mother's Day gift, tied with a burgundy bow and ready to give.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Hopefully, you'll never have a house or business fire. But if you do, hopefully, you'll never forget this name, Michaelis. Michaelis crews often roll in before the fire hoses are rolled up. Then their talented craftsmen will restore your spirits. That starts by being your advocate with the insurance company. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Springtime in Indy. The home really took a hit this winter. Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41. So don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino.
The Ride with JMV.
You're going to eat your fat.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in
June the 21st, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, a night with Stevie Nicks. And I'm assuming you will hear this as well. Number 9's going to go on us. Happy Mother's Day to all of you moms out there. Kyle, great job for me. Love you guys, listeners, participants on the show this week. JMV Takeover is tomorrow. That is coming up at 6 p. next door on B1057. Last word, trackside, Beyond the Bricks, all coming up. Have a great Mother's Day weekend.